Would you look at us? This is not John Wooden's pyramid of success. This is beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Rick Kamla, lower left, of course, A.M. Pfeffer, and live from New York City in Manhattan, it is Dr. X. It is Dwight Walton. They are together. They have in our just warm up here before the show promised to play nice today. I'm not really buying that. And Doc, I like the fact you've got the orange pillow out in front. I don't think that's a coincidence. You could have gone
No.
like brown, orange. You could have, but I see the orange. You're obviously excited about your Knicks, and I want to get all the stories from Madison Square Garden from you guys,
Let's
man.
go.
How was yesterday?
Oh, it was great, Rick. Ultimately, the Knicks looked like they were struggling to begin the first quarter. And then they started hitting some shots. Mikal Bridges had an amazing game, and everything just opened up. But ultimately, the Spurs couldn't hit enough threes. And defensively, they weren't defending the threes well, and we're hitting our threes. Stop looking at me like that. You know that's exactly what happened. Apparently,
Already started.
apparently, Carl Anthony Towns plays defense, and defensively, he was, some ratings show that
He played well.
he was the best defender on Wemby, or the negative. He had a high negative, plus negative whatever value when they were plus minus value when they were guarding each other. But all in all, it just shows that when Mikal Bridges steps up, OG was okay, but overall they played good defense as a team, held them to 89 points. The Garden was rocking, and it just looked like the team felt cohesive finally. Until next time, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's pretty much like so. What I was confirmed in from this game is that on any given night we can beat any team in a 7-game series, and at least it gives us a chance. But I know that they can just fall off the cliff any given night, and that happens in a 7-game series. Like you'll see a team, go up 2-0, and then they get blown out the third game. So that's expected, and I'm just happy to know that we have what it takes to win it all. Will we win it all? It really depends on if everybody comes to play in a 7-game series.
So, Dwight, we'll get to this question here in a minute. Did the Knicks make a statement? I want some Madison Square Garden stories. I mean, what did you eat? Like, where did you sit? Dwight, how was your view on the game? Like take us to the Garden, man.
First of all, I want to thank my loving cousin here for the great seats that he got me. I did not sit with his wife Shalea and my cousin Phil, but I was on the other side of the court. I was right behind Celebrity Row, so I saw Michael Strahan, I saw Ron Harper, Dylan Harper's father, I saw Stephon Marbury, I saw Tim Thomas. There was a litany of celebrities that John Starks was there as well, obviously, but I was right behind them. My seats were fantastic. And I'm on record, and I will continue to say to the point of annoyance, there's no better atmosphere from a basketball standpoint than being at Madison Square Garden. I've been to many arenas in the NBA. I haven't been to all of them, but I think I've been to the most important ones outside of Oklahoma City, although I played in that arena when I was in the CBA many moons ago. It has been since renovated, but I've been in that atmosphere. There's no better atmosphere than being in Madison Square Garden, even for a regular season game. But yesterday's game was special. It was Victor Wembanyama. It was the San Antonio Spurs. And I know we're going to answer your question later, but the Knicks definitely made a statement yesterday. But overall, my experience, as has been the case in the past for me, no better atmosphere than watching a basketball game at Madison Square Garden.
Well, I'm glad you guys had that time together in the weekend together. And Doc, congratulations on again being honored over the weekend on Saturday. And I saw on Instagram before I came on a picture of you and Dwight, and I put a comment like, those suits though, and I put, y'all look like bosses, all caps, okay? In the best way possible. I mean, those suits were amazing.
Thanks,
was that Saturday when you were honored?
Yeah, that was Saturday. Yeah. Thank you, Rick. And there's a little behind the scenes story. So we all take our pictures, and it was a long day. We take off the suits, and we're just like in our chill clothes, and then we're like, wait, Shalea says, "You guys need to take a picture together." He's like, "Wait, we need to take a picture together." So we're like, "All right, we got to dress up real quick again." Prior to the Knicks game, prior to him going on the radio to TSN, just to take 10 seconds to take that flick. So that was actually the next day, just to make sure that we had that. Yeah.
But you know what? We still rock the suits. We've been wearing suits our whole lives. As Phil spoke about with his father taught him the value of wearing a suit. I've been wearing a suit in my family because of these guys. My whole family, we may not be vain, but we like to look good, if I can say that. And we've been going to church all
You
our lives.
You can say that because you guys do look good. I got to throw that in there every time.
Thank you very much.
I'm just saying.
But listen,
you
know what? Listen, we love dressing up. My mother used to wear hats when she was alive. My Aunt Sonia, his mom, wears hats to this day. It's just a part of our DNA. My nephew back in Montreal, he's known for fashion. It's just a part. It's a part of us. This is what we do. This is who we are. We have no issues wearing suits and ties. I know some guys out there don't like to do it. Phil and I have absolutely no issue in wearing a suit and looking good in the process.
Appreciate that, cuz.
Look at those bosses. Honestly. Are you serious right now? Dude, like Hollywood's on the phone with Kai and Jason right now. Yo, man, we need these guys out here. Look at this.
Yes,
you guys could play a million roles looking like that. Are you serious right now? All right. So you mentioned vanity, right? Dwight, here's my take on vanity. You guys like bossing out in suits like that, to me, is not vain at all. And if people think that's vain, I don't think they understand the word. Vain to me is going to great lengths to look good. Okay. To wit, I don't drink sugary soda. I drink this beautiful stuff right here. Okay. Diet Mountain Dew. That's vanity. I go to the beach all the time to stay tan. That's vanity. Okay. It is vitamin D as well. All right. So you guys aren't vain. I might be a smidgen vain, but let's dive into this. AM. You go first here, because Dwight said the Knicks made a statement, and we're going to circle back to Dwight, you and Doc, to get your answer on this. AM will go, then I'll give you my answer. I'll just say this. I do not think the Knicks made a statement yesterday, and I will explain. But AM, you go first here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Knicks made a statement per se. Mike Brown made a statement, all right? He made a statement in how he had the lineup out there and who allowed the players to share the court with each other with when they were on the court, and the way he was manifesting his lineups and who was out there. I mean, look, what I mean by that is like Mohamed Diawara, right, was your best player off the bench. Alvarado was almost a non-factor. Shamit a little bit. Kolek, non-factor. Mitchell Robinson, a couple rebounds, but not a tremendous amount. And I'm going to allow it today to call him Cat, right? Potemkin Village gets back in my good graces for at least today at 12 and 14 over 28 minutes. Don't put the guy out there for 30 to 35 minutes a game. He played a great game defensively against Wembanyama this particular day. And that's Cat in a nutshell. You can't have him do both things at once. Is he an offensive player? Is he a defensive player? He doesn't have the capacity to walk and chew gum at the same time, all right? So one or the other, pal. And defensive is where we need him moving forward at 25 to maybe 30 minutes a game. Mikal Bridges is the number 2. That is the way forward. That is the only way for the Knicks to win. That's it. I've said it. I was going to say it again. I'm going to keep talking about it. You've heard me talk about it. Yesterday proved it. This wasn't a statement win for the Knicks, but this is a statement for Mikal Bridges, for how Cat has to operate, for how Mike Brown has to run his lineups out there. Because, again, you're going to get more out of Alvarado. You're going to get more out of Mitchell Robinson. At some point, you're going to insert Sohan into the game for more than 2 minutes and 1 point, okay? Tyler Kolex, you're going to hear from him. Diawara is going to have his night. So this was exciting. It was an awesome win. It was a tremendous, just vice grip they put on the Spurs and won that game. And I love when Doc talks about the Knicks being a defensive team. That's like my favorite version of the Knicks. And when Cat does what he does like that, that's pretty cool. We need a lot more of that heading into the playoffs.
Do you guys understand that we have a still of Mohamed Diawara?
I was just about to say that, Rick. I was just about to say that. That's crazy.
Very, very, very impressed.
Crazy.
I'm not surprised.
Kai,
I'm not
Jason,
surprised.
well done.
Jason, Arambulo and Kai Josephson. I'm not surprised, but I'm impressed. We have a Mohamed Diawara still. ESPN doesn't have a Mohamed Diawara still. I'll tell you that right now. Bravo,
I
guys.
mean,
Anyway, that's all I got on that.
well, Rick,
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, I
I was
just
going to
wanted
say,
to respond to AM.
Scoopy Robinson's joining the show at 2:30, and we look forward to that. We usually have a guest at 3, but he's at 2:30 today. Doc, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, AM, but I heard something that Wendy said this morning on First Take, and pretty much it's kind of to temper your expectations, because if we think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to beat Tim Duncan every night, we'll always be disappointed. If we think Mikal Bridges is going to be, I don't want to say Michael Jordan, but let's think of a consistent shooting guard, Steve Smith every night, we're going to be disappointed. You get what I'm saying? So it just has to be by committee. We're hoping that between OG, if we expect like OG to be Scottie Pippen every night, we're going to be disappointed too. So if at least one of those guys comes through to be number 2, one any given night, then that's good. The problem with the Knicks is that they have proven with time that they're not capable of being consistent day in, day out every game. And so the problem when we have bad games is because all 3 of those guys don't show up, or the one that quote unquote shows up in terms of scoring has a bad percentage and had to take like 8 threes. So I agree with you. Yes, if Mikal Bridges wants to be number 2, because we know he has it in him, I just don't think it's sustainable. I don't think he can do it.
But I want to, if I may respond to that, what I keep saying and what I'm trying to say about that, and I agree with what you're saying, Doc. The point being is that I don't want to look at Cat as number 2, and that is the consideration that everybody keeps talking about, right? Like Brunson's your clear number 1 and Cat's your number 2. No. That's not the answer. Tilt the game to Mikal Bridges. Okay, the fluidity might not be there every night, but he's your number 2. OG is your defensive perimeter guy. All right, maybe Cat does step up because he is suddenly not seen as the number 2, and then bang, he puts up 28 and 12 or 28 and 14, and he surprises his team and sneaks the win, because that's what you need, right? And the way you're putting your bench out there, and you're not Thibodeau, my 44 minutes again. Sorry, Rick, I'm trying to like channel you here and bring in
that was good. That was good.
Yeah, like the all the starters. Like, this is a deep team. The Knicks are one of the deepest teams in the league now, right? We go 12 deep, and when the playoffs start and every other team is trying to run out 8, 9 because that's the only guys they trust, the Knicks still have an 11 or 12 to go to their bench. That's going to be a major factor. But if you're leaning on Cat too heavily, it's going to be a problem. Mikal Bridges has to be your number 2. That's just the mindset. I'm talking about mindset. That's what I want to say.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah, to fully get the Thibodeau imitation, you got to channel Ed Ogeron, the old LSU coach. You got to, and like Shrek, you got to just like think ogre and, and now that I think about it, Tibbs on a bad day in Shrek, a little bit of a doppelganger. Tibbs, I didn't mean to do you like that. All right, here's why the Knicks did not make a statement. By the way, speaking of doppelgangers, I saw Lane Kiffin playing sax at the music festival I went to over the weekend. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but this dude, he looked just like Lane Kiffin, so that was a doppelganger. And he was blowing that sax, man. All right, here's why the Knicks didn't make a statement. The Knicks won a home game against the San Antonio Spurs. That's all they did here, guys. The Spurs don't own the Knicks. There's no kryptonite going on here. Over the last 2 seasons, they've played 5 times. The Knicks lead the series 3-2. All right, the Knicks are 2-0 at home. San Antonio's won both home games. And, of course, New York won by 11 in the NBA Cup game that very few people care about right now. The Spurs had an 11-game winning streak. They were the hottest team in the league, the talk of the league. And you guys know this. A lot of times when you have a winning streak like that, it doesn't end like in overtime. It usually you kind of let go, all right, we have the winning streak and we're kind of getting drilled today. It happens a lot. But here's the bigger factor. And Dr. X, I'm talking to you right now, okay? and Jim Dolan and Nick Nation. It was a 1 p.m. Eastern start on Sunday. And you know what that means. The Bleecker Street flu Okay. For those that don't know, Greenwich Village is on the Lower West Side. That's my hood. That's where I hang. Okay. That's where the live music is. It's just awesome. That's my little pocket. All right. And Bleecker Street is the main street. It's the Bleecker Street flu. You could call it the Times Square flu. Pick it. Okay. But I will tell you this, the Sunday matinee at the Garden is an unfair advantage for the home team. It absolutely positively is. And it's been that way forever. The Knicks know this. They're smart. They're competitive. That's why they schedule all these buzzkill day games, okay? The Knicks, pardon me, the Spurs had been in New York City. Guys, I want you to listen very closely to me right here. The Spurs were in New York City. They played in Toronto on Wednesday. I promise you they flew out that night.
Yep.
Right? Let's get to New York as soon as possible. They probably got in at 5 a.m. or something crazy like that. But Wednesday to Thursday, they're in Brooklyn to play the Nets. Guys, the San Antonio Spurs had a Friday night off and a Saturday night off in Manhattan. What do you think they might have been doing? Okay.
I agree.
The Knicks, so you think the Spurs might have been kicking it a little bit Thursday night until the wee hours, and then Friday and Saturday night. I will die on that hill. I don't know if Wemby, he might have been monking in the hotel room, but I'm telling you, they were out kicking it. If you don't go out kicking it in New York City, you ain't living life the right way, man. And you don't have to drink, right? But you're going out and dining and seeing a show and like just taking a bite out of the Big Apple, right? However you want to do that, but you don't go to New York City to stay in your damn hotel room. Okay. And again, if you're doing that, you're not living life the right way. So, guys, the Spurs were cooked. They were exhausted. Those New York City groupies are different, okay? Or so I've heard. The Spurs left their winning streak in New York City, but they're leaving with stories to tell for the rest of their lives. Because what happens in New York City stays in New York City. All right, so I don't think they made a statement. Doc, I go to you. Did the Knicks make a statement yesterday?
Yes, they did. Because if they had gotten blown out, Rick, it would have been, it would have been curtains for them. Everybody would have been saying this is another example of a signature game where they flopped, and we would have been dissecting everything, how many shots Towns took, how many dribbles Jalen Brunson had, how many missed shots or opportunities OG and Mikal Bridges had collectively. So it would have been all of that. So and then New York is not like Vegas. New Yorkers, we're a little bit more mature about stuff. Like we don't bother the celebrities. We always think we're the celebrity. That's the New Yorkers mindset. So those guys, those young boys, they're not getting into all the stuff like back in the day. Those guys, they probably played video games. They had an extra day to rest. They also probably had practice or walkthroughs, whatever they do nowadays. But I think that benefited them, honestly. So it's all, I think they have structure. So I'm not buying into their partying. I didn't hear nothing from TMZ about any Spurs player, nothing surfaced. So all I can say is that it was the Knicks. The Knicks had to win this for it to look like it wasn't a fluke that they won the cup. But ultimately I just feel like the Knicks, if they had lost, everybody would have been over it. So to me, this is a statement, because if they had lost, everybody would have been giving them flack.
It's a good take. Dwight, did the Knicks make a statement? And by the way, Dwight, I want a sub opinion from you. Do you agree with me that a lot of Spurs players, some whatever, were out kicking it and a little bit gassed? Or are you buying what Doc is selling, that they had 2 days off and he doesn't think that was the reason they lost yesterday? So I'd like your opinion on that too.
Now, again, I've never met Victor Wembanyama, so I really can't speak for him. However, the Spurs have a young team. I can almost guarantee they were having a good time in New York City. To your point, Rick, they've been here. Listen, Toronto to New York is about an hour flight. So they got to New York early Thursday morning at about, I'll say, to their hotels about 1-ish, 2-ish in the morning. Maybe some of them went out as soon as they got to their hotel room. For sure, they went out Thursday night after the game against Brooklyn. For sure, they went out Friday night. For sure, they went out Saturday, early evening. And I'm sure they reported to bed early enough to be decent enough for their game on Sunday afternoon.
Who's the ringleader?
Hold on. The Toronto Raptors are notorious for scheduling games on a Sunday.
Yes,
And
they
anybody
are.
who knows about Toronto,
Yes, they
Toronto
are.
on a Saturday night is a happening city.
It's
I can
cooking,
attest to
Dwight.
that.
I've been there. It's cooking.
Hey, listen. So that's what it is. So Toronto, every night for that matter, is a party city. Now, here's the thing. What up, B-Dot? But here's the thing.
We know it.
The Knicks made a statement to their own fan base. Did they make a statement to the overall scope of the NBA? I don't think so. But I will give you guys some statistics. Over the last 18 games, the Knicks have arguably been the best team in the NBA. They're 14-4. They're first in defensive rating. They're first in offensive rating. Both sides of the court, they're first. They played much better over those last 18 games defensively. I'm not sure how many teams they've held under 100 points, but they might lead the league in that category outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder. In those 18 games, they're winning by an average of 14 points. They are blowing teams out. It's well documented. This is the case for every elite team in the NBA. If you shoot the three well, you're going to be next to impossible to beat. On the flip side, out of those, when they're 14-4, the issue isn't the record for the Knicks fans. The issue is who they've lost to and how they've lost those games. They could be 14-4 until they're blue in the face. They haven't beaten Detroit and they didn't beat Cleveland. Those are two of the teams that they're going to be vying for against in the Eastern Conference to get out of the Eastern Conference to get to the NBA Finals. That's the issue Knicks Nation has right now. It's not about their record over the past 18 games. It's who they've lost to. The Knicks against the Cavs, and this goes to the three-point shooting. They were, I want to say, 5 for 37 in that game from three. They scored 40 points in the second half, and they were just abysmal in the third quarter, scoring only 11 points. If you don't score in today's NBA, you are not going to win. You cannot put pressure on your defense to get stops every time down the floor if you can't throw the ball in the ocean on the other end. The Knicks are going to be fine. It's just that to get over the psychological hump from Detroit and Cleveland, they have to beat them before they get to the playoffs. The problem is they're not playing Detroit again. Are they playing Cleveland again?
I don't think so.
So that's the issue. So again, because it was a matinee game, because it was a marquee game for Knicks Nation, that's why it was a statement game. But for the rest of us, it's not. It's proven to us in the playoffs. But again, the Knicks are one of the best teams in the NBA. No matter what Knicks Nation says, no matter what we say, they're good. And they should be the favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference. But they're not going to. That's my opinion. That's something else. But the Knicks had a good time yesterday. No question about it.
Again.
B-Dot, what's up? Welcome, man. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Just trying to, handle these kids.
I understand, man. Hey, I'm going to get you in on this. We got Scoopy Robinson coming right around the corner. Jason and Kai, I have a favor to ask. Because I was riffing and kind of working off my script. I saw the Tom Thibodeau Shrek mashup. I could not stop laughing for about 3 minutes. I wanna prank Scoop here. Can you please put Tibbs Shrek on one of my shoulders and leave it there? And I want to see if Scoop notices it, and if so, what he says. So just like place it on one of my, it doesn't matter which one, and just leave it there. And I want to see if Scoop notices and what he says. All right, B-Dot, did the Knicks make a statement yesterday?
They beat a very hot Spurs team. They played pretty well. When they took Castle off Brunson, in that first quarter, that's when Brunson started going off. Other than that, Castle had that locked down. And I love the adjustments. And like AM said, that looked exactly like he predicted, that Mikal Bridges has to be the second best player in order for this Knicks team to be successful. OG has to be the third, and Cat has to be the fourth. Cat didn't have a great offensive game, but he had 12, 14 plus rebounds, and he played really well. Played really well against Wemby. You guys know how I feel about Wemby. Yeah, Wemby had 23 plus, but I would love him to attack the basket more, get those high percentage shots. The way he dunked on OG, that should have been done the whole game. But we're not going to put this all on Wemby. This is a great team win by the Knicks. Brunson looked great. That whole starting five was in double digits. Doc, you know the guy's name? I can't pronunciate it. The kid that had about 4 threes. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
He's
Muhammad
not,
Diawara.
there you go.
Yep.
Yep. Shooting the blood out the ball. And if the Knicks play like that every night, every day, we already know the Knicks are great offensively, but when they lock in defensively with all those guys and all those people they have on that team, they look definitely like the favorites coming out of the East. But they got to play like that every game and every night.
You know, Rick, if I can say something here.
Rick, you're on mute. You're on mute, Rick.
All right. Sorry, guys. I'm like trying to coordinate a guest and do all this. Go ahead, guys. Scoop is having some internet issues, so I'm kind of in it with him here. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I don't agree with AM, but the statistics in regard to Karl Anthony Towns are weird when it comes to him. Whenever he takes 15 plus shots, the Knicks are an average team. When he takes 13 or less, they have a record like 22-4. It doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. Karl Anthony Towns can't be your second best player, but based on those statistics, and AM astutely pointed this out about a month ago, if he is down the pecking order offensively and he just does his job a la Clint Capella, where he protects the rim, gets garbage off the offensive rebound, and is a presence in the paint, the Knicks seem to be more successful. That being said, I'd like to know the correlation between their three-point shooting and how Karl Anthony Towns performs in those games. However, AM, to your point, I can't go against what statistics are saying right now. The less Towns shoots, the more successful the Knicks are. So maybe you are onto something, as you said about a month ago.
All right, fellas. Let's get into and I want Doc and Dwight. I want Doc and Dwight to what was your view on the Wemby dunk? I want that first, and then we're going to ask, was that the dunk of the year? And of course, I'm talking about. I got to get my Marv voice on here. The facial on Victor Wembanyama. So it was in fact a facial, Doc. I kind of started to get into Marv towards the end there. You got to warm up to do Marv. You know
Yeah, that
what
was
I'm saying?
good.
But what was your view on that dunk, guys?
Oh, you talking when he dumped an OG and an Anunoby? Yeah, I actually
When he
stood
put
up.
OG under the arena.
I gave him props. I was shocked, number one. I mean, he had another dunk, but it wasn't on anybody. But this one, it was on OG. It looked like it was a glitch. Like, it was like some AI-generated joint. Because, like, when he finished dunking, it's like his feet were still on the ground because he was hanging on the net. His finger had caught the net. So it looked like it was like some glitch from NBA 2K. And if you slow it up, he actually is doing the Jordan symbol, but it's the Wemby form, like the long legs, the long torso, the long arm. And if you slow it up, he's literally doing the Jordan pose.
That's
but
hilarious.
his feet are like this from the floor. That's the only problem.
That's crazy.
And that's where I can't really like get with it. It was dope. It was nice, but it never looks as good as if someone that is like this much off the floor. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Rick, did you say put OG Anunoby under the garden? Is that what you said?
Under the garden.
I think, and I don't know. I think OG. You want to admit this? He wasn't. Rick, he wasn't just under the garden. I think he found Hoffa down there. Oh wait, that's Giant Stadium.
That's right there, right there, at the very end.
Dude.
As he's hanging on that.
Okay, so Dwight, from where you were sitting, and like, take us into your view on that dunk.
No, same thing. Like my cousin just said, he stood up. The whole garden was a buzz after that dunk. It's like you're cheering on your home team, the Knicks, but you want to be wowed by the superstar that you're also coming to see, you know, under your breath. And they got what they came to see yesterday was exactly what Victor brought to the table. The dunk on Anunoby definitely was the most exciting play of the game for me. You figured it would ignite the Spurs, but the Spurs didn't play well after that either. So, again, I don't know what happened with the Spurs over the 5 days they were in New York City, but that was definitely the play of the day for me. It didn't ignite the team, but it definitely ignited the Garden on an afternoon where some of the fans definitely came to see Victor Wembanyama do something spectacular.
So, B-Dot, you've seen the dunk, and the guys are going to, maybe roll the video again. And I sent them a video of Anthony Black. You remember when Anthony Black dunked on Berlin and put 4 Memphis Grizzlies in the rim? We actually had 2 Jonathan Kuminga dunks yesterday in the same game that are candidates for dunk of the year. Wemby has 2 candidates for dunk of the year. Okay, he has. Remember the windmill he did? Look at this right here from Anthony Black. I mean, are you freaking serious, dude? He's a guard dunking on 4 guys. Okay, you had Wemby with the killer windmill like a week or so ago. You had Wemby with the facial on OG. You got the 2 Kuminga dunks. If you guys can think of like another one, then go for it. But B-Dot, what's the dunk of the year for you? Is it the windmill by Wemby? The Wemby on OG? Is it this one right here? One of the Kuminga dunks yesterday? What's the dunk of the year so far?
The Anthony Black one by far. Wemby don't count. Wemby he's 8'4". So it don't, like he would have to dunk. He would have to dunk on the opposing team and his team all at the same time for him to qualify for dunk of the year. Anthony Black by far. Like, come on now. He put all them boys he just dunked with got kids. They got family. And I feel bad for all of them because come on now. It's 4 of y'all. And Anthony Black, he no taller than 6'4". 6'3", 6'4". He just put that whole Memphis Grizzlies team. But, oh, my goodness. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
It was bad. It's also the camera angle, though, Doc.
Yes.
It's the camera angle.
The camera angle, listen, it don't matter what angle it was from, Paul. The way Anthony Black dunked on them boys, it's no comparison. Wemby dunk was cool. It was
Yeah.
He's like I said, he's 10'11", and when he dunked it, he kind of like Doc said, his feet were still on the ground, and he grabbed the rim too, because I love different Wemby, but end of the day, this guy right here, Anthony Black. Look at this. Come on. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's a shame. And you know that, and that's what happened when you get dunked on. You try to take the ball out real fast. All of them didn't know who wanted to take the ball out first. Right. Let's get out real fast. Nah, we ain't forget. Anthony Black by far. That's my nominee.
B-Dot, you the man. I knew I'd get a great answer from you, man. AM, we kind of ran it down. What's the dunk of the year so far?
I'll tell you what, it's not any of the dunks out of the All-Star Game dunk contest. Let's just get that out of the way. And by the way, it's clearly the Anthony Black dunk. Why? Because it happened overseas, and part of that dunk, if we could see it yet again, because it's worth watching 163 times, was a Euro step, right? And that's something he did in front of that Euro crowd. They don't see that. They don't get to see dunks like that on 4 guys. That was incredible. I mean, it's cool what Wemby did. I think, Justin Champagne, he had an amazing dunk in early December, if I remember. That was just an elevation from 10 feet out that was ludicrous. But look at that dunk. Look at that with 4 guys. The excitement. I mean, they do not see that overseas like that in the leagues that they watch. That was so cool. Dunk of the year by far.
Dude, Santi Aldama was mid-air and made a business decision. He's mid-air and he just went, oh, no.
I didn't even realize it was in Berlin either. Oh, yeah, that makes it even worse. How you get dunked on different soil?
Why? Because it was in Berlin?
I just realized that, man. I'm looking like this is like an NBA summer league. I'm looking at the court and it said Berlin. Yeah, all they citizenship should have been revoked. They should have left all 4 of them.
They should have taken their passports away, B-Dot. They should have had to leave their passports there.
That's why Germany don't like us, because Anthony Black.
Oh, all right. Dr. Exon and Dwight, what's the dunk of the year so far? Did you see the dunk of the year yesterday with your own two eyes at the Garden or not?
No, no. I think there was another dunk that I think we're forgetting, but it just wasn't. It's been so long. But yeah, I think I have to go with the Anthony Black for now. The Wemby dunk, as I said before, it's just not his finishes, the way he lands. He looks like
He's
a
awkward.
little kid that's in basketball camp, and he looks back to see his parents. Look what I did. His legs are just. He's just a little wobbly, too wobbly for me. He doesn't seem to have like that strength. The Giannis dunk would have been dope too when he windmilled, but he didn't finish. He had a sloppy landing as well. He almost fell.
Dwight?
Anthony Edwards must have a dunk on somebody this year. That was better than the Anthony Black one.
Oh.
Victor's yesterday. Something. I don't know. Anthony Black, because of the optics from all the different angles, that's the dunk of the year, obviously. But I'm sure Ant Edwards has something on somebody this season that just from an optic standpoint looks like it was the dunk of the year. So I can't give you an answer unless Jason and Kai can bring something up from Ant Edwards. But right now, just to make it a consensus, it is Anthony Black because of the four people in the picture. But again, for me, whatever Anthony Edwards has done, I'm sure he's dunked on somebody at some point this season.
Nah, Dwight. Part-time killers don't dunk on people, so he probably don't have none this year. So
Don't trigger me. Don't trigger me, Doc.
yeah,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey,
Part-time
Dr.
killers,
X,
they don't-
somebody co-signed our opinion that Edwards is a part-time killer, and I saw you guys talking about it on the group chat. What was that
Yeah,
about? Do you remember that?
Spears is Spears, right?
It was Mark Spears on NBA
Spears
Today.
is my homie. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's a Hall
Why
of
don't
Famer.
you invite him?
You should get him on the show, Rick.
I reached out to him, and he kind of pump faked me. He did get back to me though, so I'll reach out to him again.
So
I'll
his
reach out to him.
claim is illegitimate. His claim is illegitimate. He didn't get back to you, Rick. Why you accepting that? Why you accepting
Dude,
that?
like-
He pump faking you, Rick. No, we're not
He's
accepting
not.
that.
I mean, like, I say that sarcastically. I love you some Mark Spears, man. We've had some cool combos over the years. But the booking game, like there's all these layers and levels of the booking game, right? There's just getting ghosted by somebody that you know very, very well, and that really pisses you off and disappoints you. There's getting ghosted by like a big time ball player, and you get it, right? All right, took my shot. There's reaching out to somebody, they get back to you. You reach back out to them, then they ghost you. It's a whole game, dude. There's an art to booking, man. So I'll work on Mark Spears. And I've gotten decent at that booking thing over the years. But I'm going with the Wemby windmill. And Doc, you cracked me up. He didn't stick the landing.
Yeah, there we go.
He didn't stick the land. I got to give you that. And this is, I mean, Anthony Black's dunk is absolutely ridiculous, but so is Wemby's windmill, man. I mean, it was like a kind of reverse, like Richard Jefferson style, like windmill. Like, remember RJ used to always like spin in the air and do the reverse dunk off those lobs from Kidd. Man, I love that Nets era, man. Kmart, RJ, Kidd, Vince Carter. That was a fun ass team, man. All right. Guys, I'm going to take the floor here for a minute, and you guys are going to love this top. That dunk right there. I freaking love it.
It just looks like he's playing on one of those the Nerf baskets. and it's like, look, Daddy, I'm going to do the dunk again. Family comes over, and he's like, look, Daddy, look what I can do. And it just looks like that when he dunks. Like it's a Nerf basket. So sorry. I mean, that's what I see.
Tell me you guys didn't take the wire hanger. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Bend it into a circle. Take the little clip or hanger at the top, and then you kind of make a square out of it as opposed to a circle, so it can fit in the door. And then you got to go to Mom and go, do we have any plastic bags around here? Right? Back in the day, it was harder than now. You always get plastic bags from the store, but then you get it, cut it, you tape it around, and that'd be your rim. and you'd be dunking on it and shooting that little Nerf hoop. Okay, so let's just make this clear. Did all 5 of us do that as young fellas?
Yes. Yes. To that
I was born.
detail.
I was born.
The
I was
plastic
born
as the net.
1990, Rick. I was born 1990, Rick. I can't relate.
Short answer for B-Dot.
We
No,
are-
he did not.
I'm sorry, man. I wanted to share this struggle with you guys, but you know, I did come from the hood now. But I had a little basketball goal, but I did have to put a little cinder block on it in order for it to stay up. So you know, a little bit of struggle, not the paper bags. I would have got beat up if I cutting the paper bags. Mom would have been like, "Oh yeah, come on."
No.
We use paper.
This is
Yeah, you know, in them black households, you use them grocery bags for something other than trash or to put something else in. Oh nah, yeah.
Oh, we're getting you up. Understood.
AM, did you have the Nerf hoop? You know, the makeshift Nerf hoop back in the day?
Yes, it did. But that was early, by the way. That was like the very first. I'm with you. Like, we had to craft things and put it together. But like, by the time I was 9 or 10, I was on B-Dot's level. Like, we were buying stuff. We had what was necessary. But yes, there was a crafting of some hanger and some other stuff around the house when it first started. It was James Naismith era level. Crates.
By the way,
on telephone
guys,
poles.
that's the last time and the only time I've ever been able to dunk was on the Nerf hoop. Okay, so that just so you guys know that. All right, did you guys see Stephen Curry staring at a barking Draymond Green yesterday? Kai and Jason, please roll the video as I talk. The question is, guys, is Steph done with Draymond? And when you see this, when you see Steph Curry and how he's staring 365 holes through Draymond Green, okay, I'm going to talk and just watch Steph. Don't watch Draymond. It's typical Draymond, woof, 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 blah, blah, blah. There's no question in my mind that Steph is done with this guy. I just don't think you have that posture and that look on your face, first of all, unless you're done with the guy. But let's go into the history here, okay, A.M. Pfeffer style. Green was suspended indefinitely in December 2023. Curry acknowledged that Green needs to change his behavior. Quote, conversations yesterday were about acknowledging that he can't do what he's been doing. He knows that. We know that. Everybody knows that. That was December of 2023. We're in March of 2026 and nothing has changed. Okay? We have the Jordan Poole incident, 2022. Curry addressed it, calling it an unfortunate situation, and said it required extensive, difficult, and, quote, necessary conversations within the team. Were they ever had? Did Draymond listen? Probably not. Because Steve Kerr's like, no, you are not touching my guy, Draymond Green. He's untouchable around here. He can do no wrong. I don't care if he chokes out Rudy Gobert and punches Jordan Poole. We're sinking with the Draymond ship, and that's what you're doing right now, Steve. On-court incidents, okay? Early 2026, continued behavioral issues from Draymond Green. And there were reports that said Curry was so tired of Green's behavior and the distractions that it causes, with some observers seeing him as, quote, hopelessly trying to rein in Draymond. Good luck with that, especially when your coach is like, you're not reining in Jack Bleep, okay? You know, back in April of 2025, you had Green taking that 3-ball at the end of the game, and Curry was pissed at him for taking it, okay? Stephen Curry has been pushing for necessary behavioral changes behind the scenes for years to no avail, okay? So it's not just the optics of that shot. There's history here of Steph coming to a boil, and we know how aw shucks and cookies and milk and Americana and pretty much perfect Steph Curry is, right? Like, he doesn't get texts. I mean, sometimes he does, but not usually. But he's just a great guy. He just seems like an awesome dude, okay? And Draymond is different. So is Steph done with Steve Kerr too, okay? Why wouldn't he be? Kerr's up to his old lies again. You guys saw the apology about what he said about Porzingis. I mean, this guy. You have Kuminga detonating in Atlanta. It's an unconscionably terrible decision and now look for Steve Kerr. Remember, Steph Curry always loved on Jonathan Kuminga, always had his back, said, and I quote, we love JK in this locker room, okay? I promise you Steph Curry wanted Kuminga to play more. I freaking promise. Curry knows that Kerr has the worst rotation in basketball, and it's not even close. That includes college, by the way. The Dubs have been mid for 2 to 3 years now. Steph needs to have a come to Jesus with himself, okay? He needs to man up and politely ask for a trade. This look on his face right now, Steph, get out, bro. You know the movie Get Out? Phenomenal thriller. Get out, okay? Amityville Horror, you're hearing voices from the attic. Get out, okay? Leave. Does Steph really want to sign up for another year of Draymond? Doesn't seem like it to me. Draymond is going to opt in to a $27 million player option for next year. There's a 10,000% guarantee he's not worth $1 million on the court right now, okay? Yes, he's going to grab that bag. It's the worst contract in the league right now. Does Steph really want to sign up for yet another mid-year with nothing at stake, with Draymond Green foaming at the mouth all year? If Steph does, I think I'll just leave it at that. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's time to go. And the Golden State Warriors need to trade Steph now to max out his value before he becomes 39, 40, and then you're getting nothing for him, okay? Steph needs to change his 5th ring, and I've got the solution to the problem. Me and AM want Fox out of San Antonio, all right? Trade Curry to San Antonio for Fox. Fox goes to Golden State, back to Northern California to haunt the Kings in those 4 matchups every year, and Steph gets to go play with Wemby, okay? Mic drop. That's where I'm at. So, guys, I go to Dr. X and Dwight in New York City. Is Steph done with Draymond?
No, I think he was just shaking his head. He wasn't shaking his in agreement, but he wasn't shaking his head, demonstratively, because he probably is shy, or that Steph has a personality where he kind of comes out of his shell sometimes. But I can see where when Draymond is amped, he kind of stays a little calm to kind of balance it out. And so I don't really put nothing to that, honestly speaking. And I think Steph is going to end his career in Golden State. I don't think he's going to be traded or anything like that.
All right. Well, on that note, let's bring in Scoopy Robinson right now. We have issues here. Hey, there's our guy, Scoop. Scoop, what's happening, brother?
What's going on? I was having internet issues. What's going on with you?
It's all good.
We're chilling. B-Dot's got his daughter. We got A.M. Pfeffer lower right. We got Dwight Walton and Dr. X. They are in New York City at Dr. X's, what do you call it, Doc? Apartment, penthouse, condo? I don't want to, let's get this right.
I don't know, man. It's a condo with the massive terrace.
Yeah.
Wherever Tony Stark stayed at in New York, that's where Doc stayed.
New York is
Hudson
home
Yards,
for me, so next
Hudson
time I come
Yards.
home, I got to check this out myself.
Yeah, man. Let's catch lunch. Let's come
Yes,
come
sir.
through, my brother.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so Scoop, we're on a topic right now. And Guy, I'm sure you saw this, Scoop, but they'll run it again. You saw Steph Curry just staring down Draymond yesterday, right? So
Right.
that kind of tells me that Steph's done with Draymond, and there's history with Steph kind of like getting more and more irritable with Draymond's antics. Doc doesn't think that Steph is done with Draymond. I've been saying for years, Scoop, that Steph needs to ask out of Golden State, okay? Because this is just a sinking ship. And Doc just said that he thinks Steph's going to finish his career there, which is the prevailing opinion. What is your opinion on those two things?
I think he's gonna stay too, and I think I think you can't always base what's happening in a clubhouse based off of sound bites and clips. I'll be honest with you. I was with the Golden State Warriors last week on the road, and they're very cohesive right now. Despite some of those things that you may have seen online, I actually wrote a feature on the Golden State Warriors last week. You can find it over at scoopy.com in the blog section. And I talked to Steve Kerr about Draymond aging and, how that looks. And one thing that really stood out to me that Steve Kerr said to me is, and I quote, he's convinced himself he's the baddest man on the planet, and it's been very effective for him. But all of a sudden, age starts to catch up with you, and trying to convince yourself of that is much harder. But can you raise it and embrace it where you are, and how can you be effective? Now, that's where I'm trying to help him, which is solely so he can finish the things the next couple of years how he wants to on his terms. And when I talked to Kerr about that, I kind of tied in just personalities and specifically, where Draymond is at this point in his career and kind of compared it. No comparison between the two skill level, but as far as where Michael was in his second three-peat with the Bulls and where Draymond is at 36, 37 years old. And he occupies a unique space in the NBA history. Kerr himself having played with Michael and coaching Draymond. And he said every player is different based on skill. I think in general, the highly skilled players like Steph tend to age better because they rely solely on their skill after their bodies fail them. It's harder for a guy like Draymond, who made his entire place in the league by being smarter and tougher and better defensively than other people in figuring out the game. I think Draymond is frustrated because there's no Jimmy Butler. Steph has been out. And you've got Kristaps Porzingis, who now Kerr says doesn't have pots. And it's just a lot of just frustration for an older veteran team that has really been successful over the last 10 to 15 years. And Draymond wants to win, but you can't do it tackling people. This is not football. This is basketball. And I just think that we caught them at a moment where Draymond was frustrated and the camera caught it. I don't think that has a correlation to Steph and him being frustrated. I don't see him leaving the Warriors. That's my opinion.
I love it. Go ahead, Am, please.
I would say I love all of that as well. But let's hear from you personally. What do you think the Warriors should do? Because I'm so with Rick. Or what do you think Steph should do? Do you think he should move on and potentially go out? I mean, and I hear what you're saying. He's going to stay. You expect him to end his career there. And these are great quotes you're getting out of Kerr. But what would you like to see them do? Or see Steph?
One of two things. One, bring LeBron James to Golden State to give it one last run next season. Two, go to the Charlotte Hornets, your hometown team. Your dad does TV.
Thank you.
You just made Dwight so happy.
Thank you.
You're a young team, and it would be a great homecoming of sorts. Going to the Spurs, to me, doesn't really, like, De'Aaron Fox is cool. He still wears Steph's sneakers, his Under Armour, and Steph is not there anymore. But realistically, I think, joining the Hornets would make sense, specifically because if you look at the assets that the Hornets have, like you look at Kobe White, who I think is done after this year, you want to get something for that. You send a Kobe White to a Golden State Warriors team in a sign-and trade, and you bring Steph over there. It benefits both teams. You don't let Kobe White walk. I think he's a free agent at the end of the season. There's a lot of young assets on that team that you can move and make something happen in that regard. Those are my thoughts. LeBron James coming there, or you trade him to Charlotte and you start something new.
Scoop, I'm not sure if I said it here or one of the many group chats that I'm in, but I said if Steph Curry is ever to be moved from San Francisco, it would only make sense for him to go to the Charlotte Hornets, A, because he was born there, B, his father's jersey was just retired by that franchise, and C, they're good. They have a chance. They're good. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
For context, he was born in Akron, Ohio, I believe.
Okay, true. That. My fault.
However, I'm not a technical asshole. So yes, he grew up in Charlotte.
Yes,
his dad played for the Hornets. No, and I'll tell you a funny story about that. J.R. Reed, a former Charlotte Hornet, was teammates with Dell and all those other guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
Okay. Del Kerr, or rather, J.R. Reed told me a story about how when Dell was playing for the Hornets and Steph used to get on the team plane, they used to put Steph in the front of the plane, and he used to sing all the songs in the front of the team plane. Like he would take requests. I'm talking Michael Jackson. I'm talking, I think, DMX. And everything in between. There's a familiarity with the Charlotte Hornets as a franchise because his dad played in the 90s there. Toronto, he spent time there as well when his dad played for the Raptors. But Charlotte is where he grew up, and it would be an ultimate, cool thing to do to see him come back to Charlotte. Nothing I've heard, it just makes sense to me.
That's it's the same thing. It's nothing I've heard. It's just it makes sense. Imagine if you don't have to give up one of LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, or Brandon Miller in any Curry deal. If those three core players can stay, and you bring Steph Curry in with the development of Moussa Diabate, with Kalkbrenner's going to get more experience, Miles Bridges is there. Imagine Steph Curry infusing his talent into what already is one of the better, if not best, three-point shooting teams currently in the NBA. Now we're talking. And again, it just makes sentimental sense to me for Steph Curry to end his career with the franchise that just retired his father's jersey. It just makes sense to me.
You listen. You ain't gonna get an argument out of me. I mean, it's been talked about in folklore for years. No different than Jose Alvarado one day becoming a New York Knick, and so Jose being from Brooklyn, playing at Christ the King High School in Queens, and then leaving the Pelicans and joining the New York Knicks was a thing. Why not that be the thing with Steph Curry? You know, I think that would be pretty cool. And I'll give you the quote specifically about what JRE said. I asked him, I said, what was it like having a young Steph Curry around his dad, Del Curry, in the team? What would he do on the team plan to keep things lively? And JRE laughed, and he said, as I'm scrolling, he goes, he used to do all the movies for us. He used to do Sexual Chocolate from Coming to America. Del used to go get him to make him act out all our favorite movies. Back then on the planes, we had the VHSs, right? So he said, we only had 6 good movies. So for an 82-game season, it was a long flight. We knew all the movies, so we would just quote the movies over and over. And Steph was around us so much that he became one of the guys, and that's what he used to do. Quote a whole movie for us. Anything. He was right there with us.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
Yes.
Dr. X, you got a question for Scoop?
Scoop, are you in New Jersey or Philly?
No, I'm in the DMV right now.
DMV. Okay, yeah. We got a link next time you're in the New York area. But what are your thoughts about this signature win that the Knicks got yesterday against San Antonio Spurs yesterday? Any takeaways, or it was nothing to see here?
They made up for the in-season tournament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a great regular season win. I do think that the Knicks coming out of the All-Star break, you saw them get that win against the Houston Rockets, another Western Conference team that's been, heralded as one of the next. I do see they're about a year or two off from winning a championship, or at least appearing in a championship. You look at San Antonio, top 3 team alongside Oklahoma City in the Western Conference. I think that's a good motivational win for the Knicks. You can't take anything away from them, because they had a very interesting December, January. So to come in February, kind of, throwing flames, I think that was a good win for the Knicks, and you tip their hat off. You take your hat off to them.
Gotcha.
B-Dot, do you have a question for the great Scoopy Robinson here on Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network?
Yeah, I got you, man. What's good, Scoop, man? How you doing? Everything good?
Hey,
Bro, you
man.
looking good, man.
I feel good. I see you doing your thing yourself, man. And you see you got your daughter in and out making cameos.
Man, all of them, man. Both of them, man. But, man, appreciate you being on, man. I got a couple hot takes, man. So, which team, let's just say this team, will collapse in March? Who is it and why? And also, sleeper alert, which overlooked team is actually the biggest threat to win a conference championship?
Which team will flop? Damn, that's a good question. It's not Oklahoma City because they've been consistent. I wonder about Cleveland.
Thank you.
I like that.
Hit him. Hit him, Scoop. Hit him right upside the head.
So
Cleveland's
when
overrated. Tell us.
When you say you wonder about them, you think they'll collapse? What will collapse about them? How are they even at the top of anything right now? You feel me? Like they seem pretty even kill.
So for example, right? Last night I looked at the 76ers and I looked at them prior to that, and I saw what they looked like at the beginning of the season, and I looked at the Boston Celtics, and I saw what they looked at the beginning of the season. I never looked at the Boston Celtics as a collapsing team the way people did, and I actually thought Vooch adding that player to their roster at the deadline helped them and paid dividends. I say that to say that when I look at the rest of the season, I look at the long haul. Boston is right where I think they've exceeded expectations, but I think Philly, for example, is where they should be without having Paul George, and I think they actually rebounded some from where they were last year. When I look at Cleveland and I look at Philly in the playoffs, I wonder if Philly could actually be a competitor with Cleveland the same way that Philly was a competitor with the Knicks a couple of seasons ago in the playoffs. And I think they took them 6 or 7 games. If you remember, that was the series to watch. And so when I look at Cleveland, I think they look great on paper. I think that gelling and having a team for a whole season is a different process than making a midseason trade and people getting it all together and expecting a championship right away. Very few teams can do that. And when I look at Philly and I look at what the Cavaliers have, I wonder that once Philly gets full strength and they get Paul George back and a healthy Joel Embiid back and intact, could that Philadelphia 76ers team compete with the Cleveland Cavaliers team? That's how I look at things. Not that Cleveland sucks, because I think they're a great team, but February, March is very different than May and June.
Facts. No, I like that. I love that. I love that.
And in answer to your question about a sleeper, I think there's 2 teams to me that are sleepers. One is the Charlotte Hornets, and 2 is the 76ers.
Scoop! I love you, Scoop! I love you.
Love you too.
That's only the 2 teams from the East, no Western sleepers. You feel like those 2 teams have a chance to make a lot of upsets come playoff time?
In the West, maybe the Lakers, because I feel like the Lakers, everybody's dumping on the Lakers right now. I look at this point in the season, like the push from March to the end of April, the usual suspects are always there, whether that is Golden State, whether that is the Lakers. It's usually the Clippers too, but I think in this instance, I think the Lakers are like the Lakers and the Warriors make the most sense to me. I think as much as people are dumping on the Lakers and talking about the connectivity of Luka and JJ Redick, I think they'll be okay. You know, I think that those are the teams that stand out to me right now. I think if I took a deeper look at the standings today, I might say another team, but we're live and I'm not going to say nothing crazy. So that's the safe pick right now.
Wait,
I love it.
100%.
Let's stick in the West for 1 second. For 1 second, I want to stick in the West. Pick the team that's going to end up in third. It's Houston, it's Minnesota, it's the Denver Nuggets. Who ends up third in the West?
Denver.
Agreed.
Denver's scary to me, man.
Listen, I think Denver
Johnson
can win the
hasn't been a good-
championship.
Dude,
but
Cam
he gotta
Johnson
be
had
healthy.
0 points
Cam-
yesterday in like 20
They
minutes.
need Aaron Gordon back.
That's
And they
Zero.
need- I forgot the other missing piece, but yeah, because Cam Johnson, he ain't looked like a great trade with him and MPJ.
It looks like a horror.
What I will say.
By the way, guys, 4 and 6 in the last 10 games. Currently 5th in the standings.
Well, but listen,
Yeah.
when it comes to the Nuggets, we have to understand they're missing one key guy. And I know people get up in arms when I say he needs to have season-ending surgery on the hamstring, but Aaron Gordon not being in the lineup for the Nuggets
I'm
is
up in arms
hurting
right now.
the-
I'm here in Clearwater, Florida,
okay.
up in arms.
Well, listen, for 2 years, fellas, Aaron Gordon has been dealing with that hamstring. I want to see him get that fixed because he may be able to come back for 1 or maybe 2 playoff series. If Denver gets all the way to the Western Conference Finals and best case scenario, the finals, then Aaron Gordon goes down again to a hamstring injury. What good is that going to do? What good is that going to do? So to me, to me, Aaron Gordon's not being on that roster right now is killing is killing the Denver Nuggets.
Totally agree. Totally agree. All right, Scoop. I got one more for you here. I want to talk about a subject that's very, very close to my heart, and it's created, I don't know, guys, what do you think? 17 rants this year? I'm just kind of picking a number here.
Is it about the Minnesota Timberwolves?
No, it's about Steve Kerr. Who is?
Okay.
Do you remember the movie?
Yeah, that's
do you
the
remember
other
the
one.
movie Apocalypse Now, Scoop?
Yes, in passing. I never watched it, but I remember it.
Okay. So it's about it's a military mission to whack a military guy who's in the jungle, and he's lost his mind, and he's created this barbaric, like horrific cult. So they go in the jungle to kill this guy. Marlon Brando plays this character. Okay, his name is Colonel Kurtz, a once great leader who's gone amok. Steve Kerr is that guy right now. Okay, how bad of a look is Jonathan Kuminga's 3 flamethrower games for Steve Kerr? And are the Hawks dangerous? Or, because I hear a lot of Hawks this, Hawks that, they're going to do this, they never do anything, Scoop. They never do anything. I got a stat for you guys on the Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, this is a long setup, Scoop, but I got a lot to say. I looked up a stat this morning. Did you guys know that the Atlanta Hawks have been to 2 conference finals since they moved from St. Louis to Atlanta in 1968? I was born in 1969. That's 57 years ago, and they have 2 trips to the conference finals. Okay?
The last
They're
one
always
was in 22, right?
21, I think. But
Who-
yeah,
who-
and
who was they point
and then they
guard?
had the one
Who was
with Korver and Joe Johnson and Al
Trae Young.
Horford and Damari Carroll and all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's
No,
your thoughts on
listen,
Kerr, man? How's he looking right now?
He looks crazy only because Kuminga was always that dude. But I think that Kuminga, like other guys on that team, like that young squad, it was like 2 teams in one. I spent a lot of time with that Warriors team from the finals on. And I find that guys like Gary Payton II is the bridge between those, the first unit and the second unit, if you will, the young versus the old. And the young has his own identity. James Wiseman had his own identity. It's funny. I spent some time with Kuminga back in November, and I've said this on other shows, but I'll say it here. We were comparing watches, and he had on a Rolex, and I had on an Audemars Piguet. And we started joking. He goes, I'm trying to get like you when I get older. When I'm broke, baby. When I get my next contract, I'm going to get me one just like you. We were joking about it. And if he continues to play the way that he's playing, I think Audemars Piguet is likely going to give him a watch for free. And you can quote me on that because Atlanta is the perfect place for him to be successful. I think that front office has done a wonderful job in being prudent in how they're going after players. I know that going into the trade deadline, names like Anthony Davis and Zach LaVine were discussed as potential veteran players that could find their way to the Atlanta Hawks. And I like the fact that they stayed put. Walker Alexander at point guard has done wonders for that team, as well as just all of the other pieces that are there. They're currently a 9th spot in the Eastern Conference. They definitely could make some noise in the play-in and compete with teams like the Charlotte Hornets in the play-in situation there. And I really like the way the Hawks are positioned, even in making trades, in the draft portion last year with the Pelicans. I know that pick was, I think, it was protected, but either way, they're loading draft picks, and at the same time, they're adding talent that actually wants to be there. Even bringing in Gabe Vincent, who can shoot. I really do like that team quite a bit.
See, there's a lot of national love for the Atlanta Hawks. Anyway, anybody else have a question for the great Scoopy Robinson before we let him go?
White has one.
I got one.
Talk to me.
Go ahead.
Scoop, amongst the contenders, what team did not do enough to enhance their championship aspirations?
At the deadline?
Yes.
I mean, if you count the Knicks not getting Giannis, then maybe, but I still think they did well at the deadline. Because I still look at the Knicks and not getting Giannis as a way to continue with the team that they have and look at the offseason to see if he's still available. But also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that kind of goes with my analogy of what I said about Cleveland, where you've added pieces, and I actually think they got better outside of that. But I think sometimes when you do that, you mess up the team. Listen, I'm of the mindset that the Pistons actually did themselves the greatest service, because I think in the Eastern Conference, where everybody's paying attention to the Knicks and they're paying attention to the Cavs, the Detroit Pistons have been all reliable. And I feel like they don't give Cade Cunningham enough attention, enough credit, and enough pub, because it's not a sexy city like New York and Los Angeles or even San Francisco. That's not directly answering your question, but that's what I got. I also feel like, you didn't ask this, but I feel like the Toronto Raptors, as a young organization, is another team that I think is a step above Charlotte and a step above Atlanta. That really is like that fifth or sixth cup of wine at a holiday party that could sneak up on a higher seeded team and could do some damage in the Eastern Conference.
I would agree with that, but also I guess I was trying to lead you into the Houston Rockets. Will they need a point guard ultimately to give them a better chance? They're contenders now. Do you think a lack of a true point guard or a quarterback, if you will be the missing piece that will eventually bite them in the behind come playoff time?
Not having Fred VanVleet definitely does not help them. I spent some time with the Rockets last week, and I'll tell you that I asked Ime Udoka what grade he gives his team in the first half of the season, and he said he gives them a C. And he said, basically that we played up and down to the level of our competition a little bit too much at times. We want to be consistent no matter who we're playing, and I agree with that. I don't think that they've been consistent at points this year, and they've dropped games that they should have won, and they've won games that they should have lost.
Do they bring Van Vliet back, or do they move on?
I would bring him back. He's the reason why Kevin Durant came. All that money that you sacrificed, all that advocating that you did, I'd be pretty damn mad if he didn't return. I think he deserves to be part of that run. Yes, I think they need to bring him back.
I think Chris Paul should come out of retirement and play for the Houston Rockets.
I think Beyonce should have been my prom date.
I love it.
Hey, yeah, Katie,
We got to dream.
CP3.
We got to have unrealistic dreams, Scoop. We have to. We have to.
Listen, man.
All right,
I think Chris Paul is going to be a great coach, and all those teams that shitted on him on his way out the door, I think knowing him, he's going to find a way to get his revenge in that way.
I'm here for that, man. I'm here for that. And he's going to bring an old school Sam Mitchell-esque sledgehammer to that coaching rank. And there's going to be a lot of players that need to get with it or get out if he decides to be a coach. Y'all know Chris Paul. There is a trail 10 miles long of people that no longer like Chris Paul because of how hyper competitive he is. I haven't had to deal with that. I just appreciate it from afar. Like this guy wears W on his forehead. Scoop, we're gonna let you go here. Put me and Scoop in a two-way, please. Because Scoop,
Rick, hold on. I need before y'all. I need to know where you got that shirt from, Scoop. Go ahead and answer Rick's question, but when you finish, I need to know where you got that shirt from.
I don't kiss and tell publicly. I tell you privately.
All right, bet. All right, cool. Yeah, all right. My bad.
This is a nice shirt.
Go ahead.
Fly shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Man, I had to come correct if I was sitting with y'all. Go ahead.
I mean, you were suited and booted last time, and we really appreciate that,
Yeah, he
man.
was.
Um,
Of course.
Yeah.
so Scoop, we want to give you this opportunity to promote anything, an interview, a trip you got coming up, your podcast. Let us know what's up.
Over at scoopy.com in the blog section tomorrow, you can check out my exclusive with Ron Harper Jr. Of the Boston Celtics. You can check that out. And then on Thursday, you can check out a written piece, an exclusive that I have with Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors over at scoopy.com in the blog section. So be looking out for that. Subscribe to Scoop B TV on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Scoop B. And a lot of new things coming pretty soon. So, stay tuned for that as well.
Scoop,
sir.
take a close look at my shot. Do you see anything a little strange, a little different?
That's John Tesh. That's is that NBA and NBC?
No, that's Tibbs Shrek.
Look at the shoulder.
Oh shit. That is Tibbs.
Yeah, it's Tibbs Shrek.
You know what? The way I have my setup, I have a camera facing me and I have my computer against the wall. So when you had that to the side, I thought that was John Tesh. You know that video where he starts directing the NBA on NBC and he goes, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's what I thought that was.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's Tibbs Shrek. Because like I was telling AM, if you want to imitate Tibbs, hey. I mean, you sitting courtside in scores table and in the press area, you've heard Tibbs, hey, just yelling the whole game. And so, like I said, you got to like channel Ed Ogeron, right, the LSU coach,
Yes.
or you got to channel
Yes, sir.
Shrek or an ogre to actually hit that Thibodeau low note, that super raspy baritone. And so that's where, and then Kai and Jason just being brilliant, they mock that thing up. It's Tibbs Shrek.
That's funny. That is funny.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I will say this about Tibbs. I bumped into him last month. We both were at the United Center the game after they honored Derrick Rose, and we had his. I was at a suite. I was invited to go to the suite. He was in a suite next to mine with Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, and more. And the one thing that I noticed about Tibbs, number one, he's lost a bit of weight. He's a lot calmer. And he's really spending a lot of time with a lot of his former players and really picking up a lot of knowledge. I will tell you this. If Tibbs is looking to find a job this offseason as a coach, I think that there will be a plethora of teams. And I'll tell you that the team that I think he'd fit in most handily, James Borrego is currently the interim head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, and if they don't take that tag off of, or if they don't extend him, I really think that Tibbs could do wonders with that Pelicans organization with DeJounte Murray, as well as Zion Williamson and others. I think he'd fit like a glove in there if he'd be interested in building a young team.
It's interesting, Scoop, because I'm like, don't do my boy Tibbs Shrek like that. Don't send him down to New Orleans. I don't. Why are you gonna do Tibbs Shrek that way, man? Let's give Tibbs Shrek a chance, Scoop.
Herb Jones is a great defender. He'd fit like a glove in a Tibbs system, in my opinion. So would DeAndre Jordan. I think that team has a defensive identity. That's, of course, if they don't extend James Borrego, I really think Tibbs should be a coaching candidate that they should consider.
Them
Scoop,
boys might be
I'll tell
too
you
soft for Tibbs.
Yeah, Scoop, I'll tell you this. You had a better chance of taking Beyonce to your prom date than Tibbs does of being successful in New Orleans. I'll just say that. Yeah, Scoop, you know I love you, but we can't do Tibbs Shrek like that, man. We ain't banishing him to the Pelicans, dude. That's where coaches go to die. Stan Van Gundy thought he was going to bring that thing back, and that did not work.
Yeah, man. The Pelicans are a very interesting organization, man. They're an interesting organization. They're a football city, and football comes first, basketball comes second. But I definitely do like the young makeup that they have on that team, and I'd like to see them do something successful within that organization. But It's a thought. Nothing I've heard, but I definitely think he'd fit if he were interested in taking that job.
I mean, look, I love New Orleans. I want better for New Orleans. They're hardcore down there, man. They love all of the local teams. They deserve a winner. The Pelicans just kind of always in their way. Shout out to Kai Josephson for the Tib Shrek, which is now a bit. And Scoop, so are you. We'll circle back around playoff time and work out your schedule and stuff like that. But we always love having you on, man. We appreciate you, Scoop.
Likewise, thank you for the opportunity to be myself.
Thank you, my guy.
Thank you, Scoop.
I love
Good
that.
to see you.
You as well.
He always ends the interview with that. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be myself. I love that dude, man. I love that dude. All right, we got to clean this up just a little bit. By the way, he mentioned 5 or 6 glasses of wine. That hangover would be so bad it would literally kill me. Like there'd be nothing left of me. I don't drink wine, guys. Can you imagine 6 like big glasses of wine? Forget about it, man. Forget about it. That would be torture, in my humble opinion. I want to go to B-Dot first here. And guys, fire up the Steph Curry staring at Draymond thing again in case. But B-Dot, like, do you think Draymond's done with Steph? Like, do you think I think Steph needs to ask for a trade. And I've been saying that, B-Dot, going back to the NBA radio days, like 3 years. Antonio Daniels thought I was crazy. I'm like, I'll die on this hill. And 3 years later, I'm still talking about it. So is Steph done with Draymond, B-Dot? Are we overreacting about this?
Can't hear you.
Dot, you're on mute.
Dot.
Yeah, you're on mute, bud.
Dot. You're on mute.
B-Dot, you're on mute. You're on mute.
No, he's not.
He's
Oh, he's
saying
not
he's
on
not on mute. Did
nothing to
Aaliyah
say
or
there.
Brandy like touch something on your keyboard? Is that what happened
No,
here?
I'm not on mute. It's not muted.
Oh, there we go. We can hear you now.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
hear you
So
perfectly.
Steph
Okay.
staring down Draymond. Your thoughts on that?
I don't think it was nothing crazy. I think Steph was just he was mad they were losing in general, and then he was just sitting there. I'm more concerned about a security guard behind Steph, how he was looking at Draymond, and if somebody come down from the stands and beat up Draymond, he ain't gonna protect Draymond. That's what I got from it. I think the security guard was more mad than Steph was. If you
Dude,
notice how
put
he
that,
looked, he like,
Kai and Jason, put that back up. I got to see the security guard. I didn't even notice
look
that,
how he
dude. That's
looked,
such a
he
good
like,
take.
Dre, we done heard this 100,000 times, bro. I need somebody to come get Jordan Poole revenge. Because the way he was looking, I think Steph was just like, you know, look at him. Look at him. He like, man, come on, Dre. Look.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, look at him. I think he more pissed than Steph. I think Steph just more of the demeanor's down. He want to be on the court. He just more mad at the situation in terms of the team is losing. But I don't think Steph done got enough of Draymond. You feel me? He know Draymond's antics. Steph not going nowhere, and it's not about to be because of Draymond. They done already spent so much time together. It's like a 20-year marriage, 20, 25, 30-year marriage. All right, your wife may do something that you ain't feeling. She keep telling you to do this, do that. You like, I hear you, honey. I hear you. All right, let's go. Let's get back to the game. And that's the demeanor and feeling I'm getting from Steph to Draymond.
B-Dot, you the man. Look, the security guard is so over. He's like, there he goes again.
And you see
There he
Steve Kerr,
goes
Steve Kerr
again.
got that peak like, all right, Dre, just do what you got to do. Let me get back to falsely coaching. But all in all, I think Steve Kerr is a great coach, but he benefited from having that great squad. And, but you have to be a great coach in order for that great squad to succeed. So, I don't know. I think Steve Kerr might be the worst, best coach in NBA history. Because some of the stuff he do and some of the stuff he's done in the past, and I've mentioned it before, Steph done hit 12 threes in a row. Kerr taking him out of the game. Kerr sitting him. So, but at the end of the day, he got, 4 rings?
4.
It really not much you can say.
And then 5 is a player. It's 9-ring Kerr, but he's gone loco. He's gone loco. Now, I'm just saying.
And I would like to see Tibbs in Minnesota. I know that's off topic, but I would like to see Tibbs coach Minnesota. I think Tibbs would do really, really good with the Minnesota boys up there. I just think it would bring him in.
Well, Jimmy Butler's.
I love that you know me, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, but they're a defensive team. They have all kinds of defensive players. Like, I think that'd be a great fit. And you have new ownership, right? Because there's no way he would go back and play for Glenn Taylor again. But there's new ownership. And, let's say Minnesota loses in the first round, right? I'm not saying they will, but what if they do? Chris Finch is probably getting fired if they lose in the first round. We know how this goes. The second it starts to, I mean, Tibbs was in the East Finals last year. You lose to Indiana. Okay, you were probably supposed to win, but I don't think that's true or accurate. Dude, Indiana was a Halley Achilles away from Game 7 and maybe beating Oklahoma City. And by the way, it was game the frick on in Game 7 before he blew the tire. Yep. Dwight and AM still have not weighed in on this. Dwight, is Steph done with Draymond?
No, the way I interpret that video, Rick, besides the security guard that was brought to all of our attention, I think Steph Curry was agreeing with what Draymond was tapping into his team about. They're frustrated. They were getting blown out by the Lakers. It was embarrassing. It was on national television. It was Saturday night. Steph wants to play. He knows if he's out there, maybe they don't beat the Lakers, but the game would have been a lot closer if he's out there. He's a competitive guy. He understands Draymond. He has seen Draymond's antics before, both on and off the bench in the locker room. He is used to Draymond Green. I don't think he is sick and tired of him. I think he's appreciative of what Draymond Green allowed the Warriors to become over their 4 championships. We all understand it's about Steph and Klay Thompson, but the Warriors didn't become the Warriors without Draymond Green. And I think Steph Curry will be forever grateful to Draymond. Again, the way I interpret it, all I see is Steph Curry silently nodding his head, agreeing with everything Draymond Green was saying in that huddle. So I don't think Steph is tired of Draymond. I don't think Steph wants to leave San Francisco. But as Scoop brought up earlier, if there's one place that I can see Steph going to, if he is to leave San Francisco, end your career in Charlotte, where your father had the best years of his career and where his jersey was just retired.
All right, AM Pfeffer, bring us home, man. Is Steph done with Draymond?
By the way, you guys keep bringing up Steph to Charlotte as bad as me as bringing up Giannis to the Bulls and not letting that go. And that bone I just want to throw that out there. I'm correlating. Yo, B-Dot, you were so right in bringing up he's not on screen here right now, so I hope he comes back because I want to pay a little homage to you, B-Dot. You know, you're so right bringing up this idea of like an old married couple. Like, I love that. That nod was not the nod of a man who's agreeing with his teammate. That's the nod of somebody in a 20-year relationship who's literally having a conversation in their head with their agent or their attorney. That's the agreement that's happening inside of or inside of Steph Curry's head right there. Exactly. Like, yo, yeah, exactly. Like, here's how exactly we break this knot. He is definitely done with Draymond, as he should be. Because if he wasn't, he would have gone over immediately to Draymond and just like slapped his hand and then started yelling at his teammates to back Draymond up, which is exactly what didn't happen. He was calculatingly like just nodding his head like, yeah. Talking the fantasy conversation he's having in his head. It's okay as well, guys. I think that there's this notion that he has to be boys with Draymond or that he has to back him up. Yo, they already won the 4 rings. They've already done everything that they were supposed to do. It's okay if Steph moves on and doesn't end his career in San Francisco. He will forever be linked to that city, Oakland, of course, specifically. He will be ever linked to the Bay. He is still, as we talked about at the beginning of this show that we have created, that he is still the face of the NBA, at least for now. So, look, none of this is a terrible thing. Draymond is done, as we keep talking about. I want to read Scoop's little expose on him. I'm curious what he has to say because we keep lighting Draymond up for all of his antics and everything that he's saying on his podcast and the way he's acting on the court and his decline in full time, in real time that we're watching week after week, game after game. Steph still has it in the tank. He's got to get off this team. They're a sinking ship.
Sinking ship, man. Doc like this. Draymond Green is wickety washed. Okay? He is bringing nothing to the wood right now except a big mouth. All right, guys, let's go to it's about to get spicy in here. And I think it's specifically going to get spicy with me and Dwight. All right, I'm just gonna put that out there. And it's all love at the end of the day. But I'll be shocked if me and Dwight agree on this topic. Did Lou Dort target Nikola Jokic's left knee? Okay. Did he intentionally try to do what he did? Is what I'm saying. I say absolutely. Lou Dort knew exactly what he was doing. I have talked to countless ball players like B. Dot and Dwight. Every single one of them, 100%. They all take up for each other. It's the ball player fraternity. And I get it. I admire it. I'm not a part of it, right? But I acknowledge and greatly respect that fraternity, okay? And y'all are tight. Y'all stay together. There's no unzippering. It's like there is solidarity, okay? Say it with me. And they always say no player is trying to get the other player hurt. And I get it. You're ball players. You're the fraternity, and I respect it. And I totally disagree with that. I think largely that's true, but it's not 100% true. Defensive players in the NFL are absolutely trying to injure the opposing quarterback. You cannot tell me any differently. You cannot. I won't believe it. I won't buy it. You can have a different opinion. I'm not mad at you, but I ain't listening. Okay. When a base runner slides late into second base, okay, with cleats up, he's trying to injure or wound or make less effective the shortstop or second baseman. And you can't tell me differently. Okay. They know how to slide. They've been sliding since they were 5 years old. When you slide on the bag, you're trying to hurt a dude. Okay. When it comes to Lou Dort and NBA players, their body control is off the charts. So I don't buy this script that I'm giving them too much credit in that regard, which is what I've heard from a lot of ball players. Because, we go back and forth and they're like, we don't make every movement adroitly and perfectly. I get that. Okay. But Lou Dort had time to set up and kind of plan the whole thing out. And this wasn't like a bang, bang. Okay, he had a minute to calculate this little piece right here, this cheap shot, all right? These guys know exactly what they're doing, ball players. They know every inch of the floor. They know when their opposition, especially a contender who's in your way, with the best player in the world, and Lou Dort and all of us know that Nikola Jokic just missed a month with a left knee injury. Look at the video. What knee does Lou Dort hip check? The left knee, and the left knee buckled a little bit, okay? He had a left knee hyperextension and bone bruise. It's probably going to cost him the MVP award, okay? And Lou Dort knows all of this. Lou Dort saw the perfect opportunity to test the strength of that knee or injure him, okay? If you are targeting an injured area of your opponent, you are trying to injure your opponent. There's no other way to sugarcoat this. Is it high-level competition? Is it the high-stakes poker game? Is it blood and guts? Yes, it's all of that stuff. But you can't tell me that if James Harden, for example, broken right hand, you guys, the whole league is going to be hitting his hand. The whole league. And you cannot tell me that they're not trying to injure James Harden. You can't, because they are. Okay? One more thing. I am not mad at Lou Dort. I want you guys to know that. We talk about it all the time. The only guys that win rings are bleep holes. Okay? Dort has a ring because he's a competitive bleep hole. That's where this comes from. So I don't condone it. I don't really like it, but I get it. Okay? So I go to Dr. X and Dwight. Dr. X, you first. Did Lou Dort target Nikola Jokic's knee?
Well, I think he intentionally did a cheap shot. Whether or not it was specifically to take out the knee that he knew was injured, which, has him on the verge of one game of missing, the MVP. I don't know. And then, while I'm thinking about that, maybe that's what they wanted to do, just at least let him miss one game, and that puts him out of the running, and that SGA gets it. I doubt SGA had anything to do with it. I think this was just Lou Dort being Lou Dort. He has a history of doing this. He has a history. There's a whole clip of him doing chippy plays and just dirty plays. And he's actually pretty good at doing it. I think Draymond should take some classes from Lou Dort because he does a good job of disguising it. But this one was too obvious. It'd have been better if it was like, 5-on-5 and a half court set, and he's coming around it was just like a dirty screen, like, where guys don't set clean screens. But this was like him running up the court. He twists and he intentionally like hip checks him. And I think that was more of a hip check than a knee check. So I'll give him the pass. I don't think he was going after the knee, but I think he was trying to slow him up and just kind of like get in his head.
Okay. All right. Dwight, you are next.
You know what, Rick? It's as if you were listening to my segment on TSN 690 over the weekend. I'm going to disappoint you. I am 100% in agreement with you.
Yes.
It's
Woo!
because, and I'll even take it a step further. And my cousin and I were watching the game live. I didn't need the replay. My opinion right off the hop was it's going to be upgraded to a flagrant 2. And if I were the commissioner, I would suspend him for a game. Not only because he already has that reputation, and as Phil alluded to, the aforementioned video clip of about 2 minutes to where they show Lou Dort doing this type of stuff. Lou Dort needs to be punished. And I love how the NBA offices in Secaucus, New Jersey, and the referees on the court handled it. They knew that Nikola Jokic was justified with his reaction by going at Lou and then ultimately ending up going at Jalen Williams. Because if you saw what Nikola Jokic did, he grabbed Jalen Williams behind his neck. Once you go above the shoulders with any type of hand contact, it doesn't have to be an open slap or a fist. Once you go at somebody's head, that's an automatic ejection. But the NBA only gave Williams and Jokic technical fouls and threw Dort, justifiably so, out of the game. If you watch the entire replay, not only does Lou throw his hip out, he throws a left elbow, then he does a leg whip with his right leg. So whether we want to talk about it was intentional for the knee, Lou's intent was to get in the way, if you will, of Jokic. Did Jokic sell it a bit by going to the ground? That's open for interpretation, however you want to look at it.
He was
However,
tripped.
it was Lou was dirty in that moment. It just wasn't the hip. It was the elbow and the right leg whip. Watch it again. If Kai and Joe,
That's all about the knee level.
Yes,
That's why
100%.
he was hunting the knee.
All of that happened, and this look on Jokic's face right here. People don't want to step to him. Watch. Hip, elbow, leg whip. All at once. Jokic was justified with how he reacted. And kudos to the NBA for not throwing Jokic out of the game. Because Jokic went right at Jalen Williams' neck. I love this look right here. It was justified. I know Lou and I are from Montreal, and I should be sticking up for him. But in this case, Lou, I can't defend you, man. Sorry about that. What you did was uncalled for. And again, it's like I said earlier, it's as if you're listening to my radio segment. The NBA is a fraternity. Nobody is trying to hurt anybody in the league intentionally.
Except Lou Dort.
Yes. Do you try to make a person use the injured area of their body a lot more than they should, especially when it's a hand? Do you go for steals in that area? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think players are trying to intentionally hurt their fellow man in the NBA. Be competitive, be close to the edge, but don't do what Lou Dort did this past weekend.
I would say hurt. I would say injure.
Okay.
They're not trying to injure, but they want to inflict pain.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. But
Okay.
listen, but targeting somebody's knee, that's a whole other level of dirtiness. I would hope that Lou, that wasn't his intent.
So, B-Dot, I bring you in next. And I don't know what you heard and what you didn't, and now he's gone. Okay. So, AM, I'll go to you here. Did Lou Dort target the Joker's knee?
Yeah, I mean, he did. Look, there's a way to do this as one player to another NBA player, when these guys go at each other, when it doesn't feel like they're trying to injure each other. And that is usually from the waist up, right? There's a shoulder, there's an elbow above the waist, whatever it is. That is not what you see right there. That is clearly somebody going at somebody else's lower body, right? I'm just like speaking objectively. Dort, Jokic, could have been anybody, but obviously,
I just want he didn't target the right knee. He targeted the left.
It was specifically the left. Specifically the left knee. And look, Rick, you did a wonderful job ranting on the idea of how balanced these NBA players are, how well they control their bodies and know exactly what they're doing. Especially when you have a couple seconds to think about it as a guy is getting up and passing you on the floor. But just from an objective standpoint of one player to another player, A to B, and what you often see as these guys, really want to send a message, it is often upper body, not what happened here. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I think it's a great take. B-Dot, you bring us home here, man. Did Lou Dort target the Joker's knee?
Man, listen. I remember a couple months ago, we over here talking about Wendell Carter Jr. And y'all was there, and a couple people in here were talking about some of his antics, and was he a dirty player? Man, the stuff Lou Dort done, and Lou, that's my dog, ASU companion. We follow each other on the gram, bro. But I just put a whole list of everything in the chat of his speculative dirty moments of him doing stuff to players, man. What he did to Jokic last night was not called for. And who I'm more pissed off of is Cam Johnson. Another reason why he needed to be benched and sent out. He just ran right past it like he didn't see your peripheral. That this man just knocked your star player out. I know you're not as big as Dort, wide lengthwise, but come on, man, that's Jokic. I know you ain't hitting no shots, but he the one that's passing you the ball, all right? I need you to jump. You're supposed to jump on Lou Dort, or at least push him or something. That's what grinded my gears. But overall, I did not like that play from Lou Dort. Dwight pointed out something I didn't see. I didn't see the leg swing with the elbow, so that just made it even more worse. And then Lou Dort want to act like nothing happened. Like, come on, dog. Like, let's be better than that, man. You from the great country of Canada, where they respect and have one of the nicest mannerisms people I've ever met in the world are from Canada. And Lou Dort, you just, man, you get a flag a bad name with all these little antics, especially that right there. You seen the full-time killer in Jokic's eyes, right? You seen that. That's something you don't want to get them Serbians to do. He had that look like, I don't even care about basketball. I don't care about my horses. I don't care about none of that no more. Jalen, let me grab you by these Whoopi Goldberg dreadlocks and let you know, listen, but this is not what you want. I got two brothers that's bigger than me that's ready. They ready to end it all, okay? So don't do that. So all in all, Lou Dort, you got to do better as a player, bro. And I don't like that. And I don't think, like you said, SJ had nothing to do with it at all. And it's a different way you go to bat for your teammates, not by hurting other players.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent stuff, guys. Excellent stuff. Shout out to Jason and Kai for getting the video there of Lou Dort roughing up and cheap shotting Kevin Durant. All right, so I have whipped up kind of a fun little topic for us. Let's have a laugh here. B-Dot, I want to keep you going here because you mentioned his Serbian brothers. It's Nemanja and Slovenia. No, Slovenia's a freaking country, you idiot. What's his brother? What's his other brother's name? Where is it? Oh, Strahinja. My bad. I wasn't even trying to make a joke there. That was just like, dude, what are you saying right now? Strahinja and Nemanja, okay? And we know they're roughnecks. They are certified, proven, and documented as roughnecks, okay? So the question, and B-Dot, you go first here. We are ding, ding, ding. We are putting Nikola Jokic and Isaiah Stewart in the ring. And we know you're going to jump to Prize Picks and put some money on this, B-Dot. Okay? So who you got? Beef Stewart, the Joker.
Man, I'm going with Jokic, man. I'm going with the Joker, bro. I'm trying to man, look. I'm from the hood, but my high school, man, it was very integratical, okay? We had in my Kevin Garnett pronunciation, it was very integratical, okay? We had a lot of I had a good experience with Caucasian Americans, okay? These Caucasian non-Americans and Caucasian Americans, they get hit and they get right back up. They can be beat up and they don't get, come hit me more. Man, look, the Caucasian Europeans Oh nah, they not going down. No matter how many times Isaiah Stewart come at him, bro, he not going down. It's gonna be like a Tyson Fury and a Wilder fight. You feel me? It ain't. You can try to throw as many blows as you want. Jokic ain't going down. Jokic's whole face can be bloody and red. Jokic is getting right back up and say, "Hit me again." And Isaiah Stewart he's gonna have to throw the flag. It's gonna have to be a TKO, technical knockout. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm not trying to fight this crazy 6'11" European man. Come on, bro. He breed horses. He drink beers at halftime. Okay, this is a different breed. This is different blood. Isaiah Stewart, yeah, all this, like, nah. That European, that overseas blood is different. You see why all these successful UFC fighters are not American. Kebab, whatever, he was fighting a bear. You feel me? He fighting a bear at 8 years old. All right, it's different, man. It's different. They hitting kegs against their head and like, give me more. I got Jokic, money line Jokic, and I'm putting my whole life savings on Jokic. Jokic in four rounds.
That is literally one of the best 2 minutes of our show's existence, right there. Put it in a time capsule. It's got to be an IG post. It's got to be one of the shorts we put out. Dude, I don't know if you can see, I have moist eyes over here. Okay, that's hard to beat out. You the absolute man. AM Pfeffer, ding, ding, ding. Joker beef stew. Who you got? Who are you going to Prize Picks and putting money on?
Hey, man, it was just a couple weeks ago that I said I would put beef stew against anybody. Like, I was ending the conversation at that point. But I got to tell you, after watching that clip so many times as we have, I literally felt like I was watching, like, the third act of a Liam Neeson movie with Jokic as the bad guy coming out. Like, and you're right, not like the level of, like, Euro, like, oh, like, that is not the dude I'm messing with. Like, what are we even talking about here? Jokic is winning that fight, man.
Dwight and then Dr. X. Joker or beef stew in the ring? Who you got?
I will not lie. This is a tough one for me because Stewart is Jamaican like my cousin and I. We know how crazy we can get. But the thing is, what I will say, both of them are crazy. Based on that look that Jokic gave, you can tell that Jokic definitely has the bloodlines of his brothers who will beat anybody up in their path. But Isaiah Stewart is Jamaican too, man. I've seen my brethren fight, and they're crazy. So, as much as I love Jokic, I'm gonna stick to my fellow Jamaican and give Stewart the nod, the edge, but just by a little bit, because they're both nuts. You can tell. It will definitely be the last man standing, but I will admit I've got some bias in me. I got to go with the fellow Jamaican, Isaiah Stewart.
I love it, Dwight. It's not a reach, though. I mean, heck, Dwight, it's not a reach at all. Isaiah Stewart's a bad man. Dr. X, can't wait for your opinion here, man. Beef stew or Joker?
I have to co-sign my cuz. And honestly, grappling versus like boxing. If this is boxing, I'm still going with Isaiah Stewart. He's a trained boxer. Secondly, if this is like grappling, I just don't. I think Stewart probably has weak legs, and I feel like he would get slammed. But I think that Joker's not fast enough. He's not quick-footed. I feel like Stewart would run circles around him.
Okay, I understand. So it's 2-2, and I'm taking Jokic. In beef stew versus the Joker. Jokic is way bigger, perhaps stronger. I don't know that. They always talk about how strong Jokic is, right? But like, he's kind of doughy, so you don't really see definition. And on beef stew, you just saw this still. I mean, the guy's literally a human muscle. Like, that's all his humanity is muscle on muscle on muscle. But I don't know about that. And Dwight, I love what you said. They're both nuts. And I want everybody to understand, we're not talking literally here, okay? They're not insane, okay? We're talking in the fight realm. They go loco, okay? And really, it's the only way to win a fight. The guy that goes the craziest in a fight wins the fight. You cats out there know that. Jokic is the most chill dude ever until he isn't. Do you guys remember Nikola Jokic's karate chop on campaign that sheared off half of his nose? Do you guys remember that? You guys remember that? Campaign used to, he still got a pretty good nose. He used to have a bigger nose. Okay. Part of it got sheared off by Jokic. Okay. Do you guys remember when Nikola Jokic hard shoved Markieff Morris into retirement? Into retirement. I mean, I think he was like an OG on a roster for another year or two, but he never did another damn thing in the NBA. Shout out to Markieff Morris, by the way. I'm mad at you, bro. Jokic is an undercover badass with a mean streak and a bad Serbian attitude, okay, that us Americans, as B-Dot was saying, can't understand or comprehend. Everybody on earth, everybody knows that the last duo that you want to mess with is Strahinja and Nemanja Jokic. They will F up your whole life and walk away laughing, okay? That's how these guys are wired. Do you guys remember when Strahinja punched a Laker fan? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
And he got sued, okay? And I'm sure Joker broke that guy off a mill or something like that. Are we good now? The guy's like, yeah, I took a punch. I got a mill. I'm good now, okay? Everybody moves on. Beef Stew doesn't want this smoke. Because if you take on Jokic, you're taking on Strahinja and Nemanja and all of them, okay? And so I love me some Beef Stew. I love me some Joker, but I got Joker, and Joker wins this debate.
Well, hold on, Rick.
3-2.
Well, hold on now.
Yeah.
Stu got some people too now, Rick.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm
now.
not saying he doesn't.
Okay.
Dwight, I just don't know who they are. I know who Nemanja and Strahinja are. I don't know who these guys are, you know?
I got you.
See, Rick, to the point about the craziest spider wins, not always. So someone like a Floyd Mayweather, and that's what I'm saying, when you're a trained boxer, if someone's just going buck wild, and sometimes you see this in all this, like, you know, world star stuff, the wildest guy usually gets knocked out because they go flaming and then they get counterpunched because they miss and they get counterpunched. And so I think that's where Beef Stew's dangerous. He's trained and he's crazy. So a trained crazy man, watch out.
It depends. It depends on what type of fighter we talking about, though. Because Jokic, brother, I think is who is it? Strohinian? No, is Nemanja? Former MMA fighter. Okay,
Oh, no, I'm talking about Jokic.
So it ain't
though.
like.
But yeah, I got.
No, come on. You don't think he taught Jokic a little something? He taught Jokic a little something. The other brother played ball too. So,
Yeah.
It depends on what it is. Now, if it's boxing,
is this
it might be different. I might got to go with Beef Stew on that boxing. But if it's MMA, we doing UFC fight, Jokic get a hold on you, I don't know. But them Jamaicans don't play. I don't know if y'all seen Shotters. They don't play now. They do not play. Jokic might got two, but them Jamaicans, they got about 62. And they all coming.
Got him. Absolutely. They rolling deep, yo. 100%
I didn't know he was Jamaican. They kind of alter my choice now. It's kind of up in the air. I ain't know Stewart. It makes a lot of sense now. It makes a lot of sense why he acts the way he acts.
Okay. Well, let's have one more laugh on this, guys. Put up the picture. I don't know if that's Strahinja or Nemanja. I don't know. Put up.
No net.
This is AI generated, right? There's no way this guy's this big, right? Doc, it's like you talked about Wemby. Like it doesn't. Like you're like, nah, that's bullcrap. It's AI, dude. That looks AI. I'm telling.
I love the Gucci shirt.
Am I wrong, guys?
So
It's like there's no way his shoulders and chest is that big. Am I right?
That's Strahinja.
That's him.
Strahinja.
That's him.
That's Strahinja.
That's right.
Dude, I'm just look at that guy.
Strong.
Dude, if I walk down the street, my only goal would not be 1 foot in front of the other. It would be don't look that guy in the eye. Just keep it moving, bro. I didn't want eye contact with that guy. Give him the wrong idea. Like, why are you looking at me? No, dude, I'm good. I'm good over here, bro.
Both former basketball players.
I don't know how to
I would
imitate
not want to see
Strahinja.
all
That's
three
the
of them
best
brothers
I
on
have.
the court. They probably said some of the best screens. Just to get A triple screen up top. Matter of fact, let Jokic come off the screen and have his two brothers set it. I can only imagine that.
That's true.
I mean, look at this guy. I'm blown away at that picture. I'm blown away.
There you go. Zangy all day.
Yeah, man.
Dude, he Strahenia, he looks like an inflatable, like something you buy at the store. You like, and you can't do that like blowing into it. It's too much, right? You got to like go to Target and get the little charger, plug it in, and then it takes up your whole room. And your kids jump on it. All right, what do we have time for here? All right, let's do a timed segment. I want to go around the room here, but let's do a time segment on this, guys, because we're getting towards rant time. But we got to talk Kuminga and Hawks as a group. How dangerous are the Hawks with Jonathan Kuminga? I'll give you some stats and set it up, and then I'll pass the ball around here. Kuminga in 3 games has gone 27-7-4. Bleep you, Steve Kerr. 17-9-3. Bleep you, Steve Kerr. I'm not gonna like flip y'all off. You get it, right? I'm not gonna do that. And then yesterday, 27-3. Again, bleep you, Steve Kerr. The Hawks are 3-0 in those games. Sunday, he had an insane windmill, a la Dominique Wilkins. He also had an insane switch hands in midair flush over Wang Hansen of Portland, and he flushed it with the left hand, and he's right-handed. So let's go around the room here. B-Dot, you first. How dangerous are the Hawks with Kuminga?
I mean, I got to put everything in perspective. They won 3 games. 2 of them was against the Wizards. The last one was against a Denny Alvin Jeter-less Portland Trailblazers. But looking in terms of how he's playing, I love how he's playing. He's rebounding more. He's more active. He's on the wing and he's doing his thing. I love the confidence he's playing. You can't. These are professional players and professional teams. So you can't fault the Wizards being bad or the Trailblazers missing their star player. At the end of the day, you got to come out and compete, and that's what Kuminga's doing. They look good. They look really well. I would love to see them get into the juice of their schedule against more highly competitive teams and see how they do against them. One thing I like what the Hawks did. Kuminga and Ricochet came off the bench, and they had CJ starting, and Onyeka had a great game. So I love the different rotations that they're able to do with this squad. You can have Kuminga starting, you can have Ricochet starting, you can have Kuminga come off the bench, and I love it. So in terms of these guys playing along and playing really well together, I think if they mesh perfectly fine come playoffs, they're going to be scary. They're going to give a team in the East a run for their money.
At the buzzer, AM Pfeffer, you are next. How dangerous are the Hawks with Jonathan Kuminga?
A lot more dangerous than I gave him credit for it to begin with. Look, there's something going on here. There's an addition by subtraction. Trae Young gone, Kristaps Porzingis gone. All of a sudden, there's like this freewheeling play that's happening down in Atlanta right now. You look at Charlotte, you look at Atlanta, right? The 9-10 spots. You feel a lot better about them than you do about the sputtering Magic, and the mid Miami Heat. Like, these are teams on the rise. The Atlanta Hawks have New Orleans pick or Milwaukee's pick. So, I mean, they're sitting pretty come draft time to add somebody else to bring into this rotation. But like Corey Kispert, guys, 33 off the bench the other night, right? Like, he was a total afterthought in that trade. Okay. Jalen Johnson in and out of the lineup, but when he came back, he was playing very well. Certainly, Ricochet not playing so bad as of late. CJ McCollum, who was really just a buyout guy as part of the Trae Young trade, like, he's been playing great for them since he got down there. So, a lot going on, a lot to like down in Atlanta. Now, I'm not saying they're making some big run or whatever, but like, all these guys seem to be young, playing well together, having a good time. Their future's bright. They've got money. They've got a big pick coming their way. I don't know. I like what I see in Atlanta. They might make a little noise this year in the playoffs too.
All right, Dr. X, how dangerous are the Hawks with JK?
I think the Hawks have one of the deepest rosters in the NBA and definitely the East Coast. I just think they go like 9 deep with guys. They kind of remind me of the old school, not old school, but after Melo left Denver Nuggets. They just had a lot of really good players like 1 through 9 were solid players. And I think this team, you have when CJ and Nickeil Alexander-Walker start, but now you're bringing Ricochet and Kuminga off the bench. You have Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels. You have Okongwu, who's a really good 5-player, stretch big, who plays aggressive. And so now I'm just looking at that team, and as you know, Am said, Corey Kispert, you have another shooter. And they just have a DNA and a culture about them that makes them really lock in to playing like that. And I like the vet presence that they have in CJ McCollum. And I guess you can kind of promote Nickeil Alexander to one of those spots now as well.
Perfect timing. Great take. Dwight, you're next.
I love the position the Hawks are in. I think they're going to be very dangerous if they can get past the play-in situation. Of course, you guys know that I'm on the Charlotte Hornets bandwagon. But just imagine the Hawks went into this season with Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kennard, and Trae Young on their roster. Now they've transitioned to CJ McCollum, Corey Kispert, Jonathan Kuminga. Jalen Johnson averaged a triple-double for the month of December. He is turning himself into a future all-star in this league. He played very well over the weekend as an all-star for the Hawks. I just love the way they're playing. They're very motivated to win because they want to make sure that they get the New Orleans pick. So that's also playing into how they play the rest of the season. Charlotte and Atlanta are going to be two scary teams in the play-in round, and whichever one of those teams get into the playoffs, if not both of them, they are going to be a scary proposition for whomever they play in the first round of the playoffs.
Dwight, I'm glad we had that huggy moment earlier in the show, because here's where we part ways in the road, my friend. And I'm parting ways in the road from all y'all. And I love you, but I'm not with this. The Hawks are not dangerous at all. Not one little bit. Not even one little teeny little bit. They're the mid-Hawks. They're not the Atlanta Hawks. They're the mid-Hawks. They're perpetually mid. They're always mid, with two exceptions. We talked about it. They made the conference finals twice in like 57 years in Atlanta. That is suctitude, guys. That's not, we're struggling. We've been to 2 East finals. No, that's suctitude, okay? Obviously, the Hawks got a huge win with the Kuminga trade. I mean, 3 thumbs up, and I've only got 2 thumbs, okay? But will it be enough to win out of the play-in tournament? And then, if you do, you'll be 7 or 8, and you're going to play Detroit or New York or Boston. And they are going to smack that ass, okay? Bye. The Hawks are fun again with Kuminga. They are. Caca! But they are not back. They are not even quasi-contenders to me. Outsiders look at the players and always like the Hawks and overrate them, okay? And again, I love you guys, but you know, and by the way, it's a prevailing media opinion that the Hawks are always going to be better than they actually are. It's just a thing I've noticed. And I'm always over here like, I know this team. Like, Hawk fans can't have nice things. Okay, B-Dot's from Atlanta. He knows this. Hawks fans can't have nice things. Dominique Wilkins, greatest thing ever to happen to that franchise, and they trade him away for a bag of Fritos, okay? Then you had Michael Vick, and obviously a huge off-court mistake. But then that thing ended, okay? Atlanta's still heartbroken about Mike Vick, still, to this day, okay? I was 10 toes down for 11 years. I know that city. I know the sports culture. I know a little bit of the nightlife culture, too. But they're not even quasi-contenders, okay? So these outsiders don't know the real history of this team in this city, all right? The Hawks have never sniffed a gold ball. We talked about the conference finals thing. And guys, Bob Pettit ain't walking through them doors Rick Pitino style, okay? For those who are like, who's Bob Pettit? Shame on you. Do your homework. Bob Pettit is one of the greatest players of all time. He played with the early version of the Hawks when they were in St. Louis. They beat the Boston Celtics, with Red and with Cousy and with Russell in the 1958 NBA Finals. That's why the Hawks have like the gold on the back of their jersey, because they won a chip, but it really doesn't count because it happened in St. Louis, not in Atlanta. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, historically speaking, the Hawks are essentially the Clippers with splashier players. Think about this. The Clippers have made 1 conference finals, One in the history of their team. All right. And it's no coincidence that the Hawks and Clippers are perennially overrated by great basketball minds like all four of you. I'm not mad at you guys, okay? But you're missing the point. These teams are never going to win big. Never. Never, 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 never. Okay? I don't know how many nevers that was. It was a lot of nevers. I don't use that word very much. Never, 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 never. Okay? B-Dot, I think a rapper might have just been born. I don't know what's going on here right now, but the Clippers and the Hawks are always going to be mid or suck, just like the Jets. I'm not sorry, AM, and the Cleveland Browns. All right, it is rant time, folks. It is rant time. So let's go back to
Rick.
All right.
Rick,
Hit me with your best
before
shot.
we go to the rant, what's happening in Atlanta on March 16th? Dot, do you know what promotion is happening?
Magic City night.
There you go
now. I already booked my ticket. I'm flying back. I got me a babysitter and everything. I'm good. I'm at my cousin got season tickets. He just got engaged. He can't go. If he do, I'm telling his wife on it. I'm good. I'm out there. Man, look, I got my haircut ready. Look, I'm there. March 16th. I'm counting down the days. 14 more days.
Okay.
Can I
Bring
come?
the mic with you. Bring
Can
the
I
mic
come
with you.
too? Can I invite myself?
I am. I got you. It's really about to get X-rated. All right, my bad. Yeah, you come with me. You good, Rick. You come with me, man. You come with me. I'm wearing my X-rated jersey and everything.
I won't name this name on live air, but a famous ball player took me to Magic City twice, 2 different times. And that very famous ball player, after we left the second time, he said, and I don't want to say the nickname that he calls me because that might give it away. This ball player told me, and he said it with a smirk, but with a lot of listen to me. He said, "Don't come back here without me." He said, "Don't come back here." I'm like, duly noted, bro. Duly noted. We'll be making other plans, and when we're together, we can do what we do. All right. Okay, that was hilarious. Now let's go to. I think I went to AM first. No, I went to Dr. X and then Dwight for your rant or final thoughts, whatever you guys got. Hit it.
Oh man, I don't have much of a rant today, but it was nice seeing the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde team and my Knicks show up in a signature win. It's glad my cousin could see that in person.
Yes.
He looked very
Thank you very much.
low energy at the end of the game. Just
Okay,
but no, it was good stuff. And ultimately we just gotta wait to the playoffs. It's gonna be a long march. But I think given any team that they step into the ring with, they can beat any team in the NBA in a 7-game series, but they can also lose to any team in the NBA in a 7-game series. You just don't know which team's going to show up, 4 nights. And that's what we need. We just need the best version of themselves to show up.
All right, Dwight, you got the rock.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll never need a reason to come to New York City. I've always been coming here since I was a kid. That's why I consider myself to be a Can American ever since I can remember. I was here every summer with my uncles, my aunts, my mother, my brother, my sister. I was always here in New York City. But I wanted to make sure that I was here this weekend to be at the celebration for my cousin. His church, his homegrown church, the Mount Vernon Seventh-day Adventist Church, celebrated my cousin for Black excellence to end Black History Month here in New York. And I love this man, as you guys know.
Love you too, guys.
Appreciate that. And he deserves all the flowers, all the recognition that was thrown his way this weekend. To have a goal in mind as a child and to actually fulfill that goal, it doesn't happen to everyone. And it's happened for my cousin here, Dr. Phil McDonald. He's an inspiration to me. He's an inspiration to anybody he's around, and he will continue to be the inspiration that he is today and going forward. You can throw a lot of superlatives towards my cousin's way, but he has his genuine as they come. He wants other people to succeed as much as he does. He puts his money where his mouth is. He wants to do good by people. He always is willing to pay it forward. I am a prime example of that. I know what this man thinks. I know what he's about. I know who he cares about. He is a loving human being. I will always have my cousin's back because I know he'll always have mine. He will have his family's back no matter what the situation is. I am proud to be a part of his family. I am proud to drive here. I was doing this no matter what. Like I said, I've always had reasons to come to New York City. I've been coming here every year of my life. But for this weekend, I wanted to make sure that I showed support to Phil McDonald because he deserves everything that comes his way. This man is cool. He is nice. He is everything you want to talk about in a man. I couldn't be more proud of my cousin, Dr. Phil McDonald.
Thank you, cuz.
Let's go.
I,
Let's go.
I have to do the KG, 1 minute. What you say? Cut the camera.
The only thing I would add to that is the mayor of Los Angeles. That's the only thing I would add to that. Just throw the mayor of Los Angeles on that. And I witnessed that up close and personal. Yeah, and it's because of such a great magnetic guy he is, and people are drawn to him and they feel better about themselves when they're around him. That's a very, very special quality to have, Doc. So let's go to B-Dot here for his rant. You usually end it out, but Leah and Brandy are probably doing what they got their whole fist in the Fruit Loop box. Like, what's going on here?
Man, they over there going crazy. Look, I don't know if I like this when Dwight and Doc sitting next to each other. You see how the views are going down as they were all. Dwight was being nice to Phil and everything. You gotta even have them on different places or sitting across from each other, man. Nah, all in all, man, I piggyback everything you say, Dwight, man. We appreciate you, Phil, 100%. From the first time I met you, man. Shout out to my boy Jeff Remington for making this relationship happen. But we're gonna end it right here for me because I got to get to these kids. Listen, this 2025-26 NBA season might be the most confusing season we've seen in a decade, and I love it because for the first time in a long time, there is no super team safety net. There is no. Just wait till June. We know who's winning. There is no guaranteed parade route. This season exposed something. The league is no longer about names. It's about depth. It's no longer about big threes. It's about who can survive. Look around the league. Injuries everywhere. Stars missing weeks. Veterans aging out. Young teams rising faster than expected. And y'all still arguing about legacy like it's 2016? No. This is survival basketball. If your franchise can't develop, you're cooked. If your superstar can't carry without help, you're exposed. If your front offense gambled wrong at the deadline, you're done. And let's talk about this MVP race. Everybody wants numbers. Everybody wants highlights. But who is actually raising the floor for their franchise? That's the real MVP. Because this season has shown one thing clearly. The league is shifting. The young wave isn't coming. They're here. They've arrived. And some of these older contenders, they're running on a reputation of fumes. You can't win games off nostalgia. You can't defend off vibes. You can't survive the West or East playing part-time basketball. This season is a warning to the almost contenders, to the will figure it out in the playoff teams, to the franchises stuck in the middle. There is no middle anymore. You're either evolving or you're getting passed up. And come playoff time, somebody's favorite team is going home early. And I promise, the excuses are already loaded. But the truth, the NBA in 2026 isn't broken, it's balanced, and that makes it that much dangerous. It's like Thanos snapped his finger, and everything is even keel. I'm loving this NBA season this year.
Yeah, likewise.
You the man, B-Dot. You the man. So go be the phenomenal dad you are, or hang out as long as you want. But we love you, B-Dot.
All right, say bye. Everybody say bye. Say bye. Bye. Bye.
My God.
Love y'all.
That's too much cuteness. I can't handle it. I can't. That's too much cuteness. I cannot handle that, dude. It's cuteness overload. AM. What's your rant, man?
Well, first of all, Dwight, love everything you said about our fearless leader, Dr. X. And just so everybody understands, like, yeah, this is allegiance to the X-Rated Sports Network, certainly. But my friend, this is you. I do this as a send up to Doc X because you are amazing, and it is true. So just wanted to throw that out there. Rick,
Appreciate you.
I'm not sure what's going to happen first. You getting through a show without a mute button or not mentioning the New York Jets just to get under my skin? It's a toss-up, man. I'm going to put a little money on that.
I'm about to AM, okay? I'm about to mention your Jets. Go ahead, sir.
I'm sure you are. I don't know how much time the three of you have, but you know what? In my rant, I kind of want to bring you guys back in on something. If we could just kind of elongate a little bit more of a conversation. And if we can't, I totally understand. You know, we're 8 days out from effectively the WNBA lockout. And this has now become an absolute, like, fascinating just saga of where we're at. And look, I don't want to dovetail into Kathy Engelbert. This is not about her, and this is not about trying to take her down and plenty of people have tried, and I understand if that's the conversation.
That'll be my
Absolutely.
job around here, AM. Anyway, go ahead.
Because, look, for me, this has become such a fascinating saga of business. It really is. And I just keep coming back to the same question. There's just a question for me about all of this, and I really do want you guys to weigh in on here, and we can extrapolate on there, and we can really talk about the numbers if you want. But, like, why was this all done? Meaning, like, what were the previous 30 years for, if not this moment, to get players paid, right? To have them move into a new atmosphere, and the younger generations who all went through the last 3 decades of the WNBA, and now here's their moment. I'm trying to understand, like, this is not like, guys, 6 of the current 13 teams are owned by NBA ownership. These guys don't need one more dollar. The NBA is making close to $14 billion in revenue this year. Now, that doesn't obviously mean that it's all profit, but $14 billion in revenue. The WNBA for 30 years has been operating in the red, so everybody understands that. That is 30 straight years of red ink, okay? The WNBA makes about $200 million in revenue. The NBA makes now $14 billion in revenue. But what is coming? What is effectively coming in 2026 are 2 things. One is one more team. As Dwight may very well know, Toronto is adding a team, so there's going to be 14 teams in the WNBA. But you're about to double the revenue. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be in the black and the profit, but you are doubling the revenue because you're getting a $2.2 billion infusion of media rights capital over 11 years, what will amount to another $200 million in revenue. And what's interesting about the WNBA is that media has really only accounted for about $30 million a year. Well, now all of a sudden that's jumping to $200 million a year. And you know what else, guys? Do you know what the cap is for most teams of these 13 teams? Do you know what do you know what the salary is basically for all the players on the team? $1.5 million on average. The NBA is $130-something million. The WNBA is $1.5 million. And what's really being, like, thought about here is this idea of gross revenue versus net revenue, or how much gross revenue you're going to get. And obviously there's this idea of housing, and that comes with it. And I want to bring you in here and just maybe talk about this and extrapolate on this, because this is where it gets interesting to me. It's like, where's the hybrid model in all of this, right? Like, where's the idea of just raising, like, if you're bringing another $170 million in revenue per year, and you're concerned that if you give away the gross, that if you're Engelbert or if you're team owners or anybody else, and again, you've been operating at a loss for 30 years already anyway, but, like, you're concerned that it's going to cost hundreds of millions of dollars as opposed to the $10 or $20 million that you're at a loss every year because you're giving away gross. Well, just double the salary. That's all it needs to be. Just make people happy, and just give the gross percentage of these new media rights. It doesn't have to be a big percentage, but I think everybody would kind of come to the agreement if that's the case. You know, it's not about the merchandise. It's not about the tickets. It's not about sponsorship, which really aren't bringing revenue anyway. So I'm still, like, confused. This just comes back to the central question. If not to get these women paid and to move into a different, stratosphere of where this league is, like, what was the point of all of this? Your thoughts, please.
You know what, AM? I can't articulate what I want to say as well as what Natasha Cloud put out on social media last week. But ultimately, what she is saying, they don't want that much. Of course, they want their salaries to increase. Of course, they want the housing situation to be better. Of course, they want the travel situations to be better. And of course, they would like for their schedule to be spread out a little bit more. The problem with the scheduling is that it's over a 4-month period in the summertime, unless they were to change when they were to play their games, which I can't see happening anytime soon. This is the way the schedule, unfortunately, is going to have to be. But if somebody, not on this program right now, but when we're off air, look for Natasha Cloud. She put it on TikTok, I believe. And then, of course, you see it across all the social media platforms. Ultimately, they just want to get paid. They want their fair share. They know they're not going to get what the NBA players are getting right now in terms of the 51-49% split. All they're asking for in their negotiations, I believe, is anywhere between 27 to 30%. They know they don't make as much money as the NBA, but they just want, currently they're getting 9%, guys. 9%. It's ridiculous. I understand it. And yes, the WNBA has been in the red for 30 straight seasons, but times are changing. And you can't convince me, my cousin, the players of the WNBA, anybody on this platform, that these billionaires don't have the money. That's where you can't insult their intelligence, if you will. They just want a proper piece of the pie. That's why these negotiations are being held up. There's specifics that they are willing to balance out, if you will, and give in if some of the stuff that they're asking for is given to them as a proper compromise. Again, look for Natasha Cloud, see what she says. She pretty much breaks it down in about 3 to 4 minutes. It's an excellent take by her.
Dwight, if I may ask, because this is really what kind of comes down to, and I'm glad you brought it up. It comes down to this idea of the gross, right? This notion of that it's 9% compared to the 51% of the NBA. Now, I just spent some time talking about the NBA numbers, but honestly, I think we should throw all of that out the window. These are two. You cannot compare them. It's literally 50x for the NBA, and it's total. It's just as like, and I think that's part of the problem here, and part of in the conversation that's out there. It's like, just stop comparing to the NBA. Let's just talk about something where, as an asset, you've run the red for 30 years purposefully to get to this point, so you can get the media rights. The franchises are now worth money, worth more money. They're exploding in value every year. Again, half of them are owned by, like you said, NBA billionaires. But do you think that there's a room here, instead of going for the gross of the salary, that they just literally double the salary, so it goes from 1.5 to 3 million, or even 4 million for the team per year, and the percentage of gross goes on something else? And I understand that's hard on the accounting because collective bargaining agreements don't like convoluted, but at this point, everybody's got to do a little bit more work to make this happen. And what I mean by that is, like, the new media, that's $2.2 billion, which is bringing in effectively 175 to 200 million in revenue per year. Give them a percentage of that's gross, and don't insult them with the net. And the women should never play one more minute of basketball if there's any more conversation about the net. The net is disgusting, and you can do too many accounting tricks on that. You've got to give some sort of gross, but the gross should be on media or something else, and not the salary. Because it is to say, like, who knows what's going to happen if you're giving away too much of the salary, but you have to have, like, an idea of just at least double the salary, because enough money is coming in revenue from the media rights. And then a small percentage of the gross, a much smaller percentage of the gross on that, but at least there's a floor, and they do get paid more money.
And that's exactly what Natasha Cloud said. That's exactly what she said. Let's equate it. Let's equate the salary to what the WNBA just signed in terms of their media rights contract. Let's start to divvy the contract money from that. Then we can go from there. Then we're willing, when I say we, talking about the women, then we're willing to do the compromising that comes in with negotiations. And she says it herself, they're not asking for much. They're not asking for much, but they are asking for what is equating to be the rise in popularity in terms of the money aspect of where the WNBA is, as opposed to just 3 years ago. And let's
Yeah.
call it as it is. I know a lot of the older players don't want to admit this. Even the old alumni, some of them don't want to admit it. The Caitlin Clark effect is definitely in effect here. The numbers have spiked since she came into the league. Angel Reese is definitely a part of it. And the talent that's going to be coming in to the WNBA in the future, Paige Beckers is already here. Juju Watkins is on her way. AZ Fudd's on her way. Sarah Strong's on her way. Probably the whole UConn squad is on their way to the WNBA. Olivia Miles, who's doing tremendous things at TCU right now. The sky's the limit for the WNBA. And that's where the players right now, they just want everything that's happening right now to equate to what's eventually going to happen in the future. That's all they're asking. But your point about the media and the salary is exactly what Natasha Cloud is talking about.
Yeah, and I want to say this last before we bring in Rick or bring in Doc if you guys want to join this conversation. But there is something to be said, and I understand this from a business perspective, that you do have to be careful. And careful means not that it's about the money, but it's about the perception of further loss of money. And what I mean by that is, again, 30 years running in the red has been fine to this point because this is a long-term asset if that's how you're looking at it. You've reached the point now where the media money is coming in and the opportunity to actually get into the black. So there is a notion that the executives at the level who are thinking about the players or thinking about the league, they do have to protect it a little bit. Because if you bring in the money and you give away too much and it's still running in the red, you have a big problem. You got a really big problem. Not that the owners can't absorb that or the NBA can't absorb that, but it just shows that you finally got the media money and you're still running in the red. So yeah, you don't want to give away too much and there has to be a middle ground here. But man, oh man, I still come back to that question. What'd you even build the damn thing for in the first place if you're not taking care of the players?
The whole thing is just stupid to me. It's greed, it's power, it's control at its finest, and incompetence. And that's all I have to say on it right now. I mean, I've talked about it before. It just it's a really bothering subject for me. And Kathy Engelbert should not have that job. It's extremely clear that she is in way over her head, and it's not a good fit for her. And I don't want to say something smart, and I'll just leave it at that. Here,
so dump on my Jets instead. Here we go. I'm ready.
I mean, because I had a little joke, just a little one. You know how you can't tell jokes anymore, unless I'm banging on Steve Kerr, and then it's open field or open, whatever the hell. Anyway, all right, here's my rant, and Doc will be happy about this. It's short. All right, the Kyler Murray sweepstakes are on, and I don't care. That's it. That's my rant. No, I do have more.
Wow.
There was a report, many reports, that Kyler Murray is going to be released by the Arizona Cardinals. He will be the top guy in free agency because of that.
Yes.
And I don't care. Kyler Murray's the most overrated player in the NFL. Oh, it's true. If you've been paying attention, it's true. He's always injured. Always. He will not play through injuries. That's your job, dude. That's your job. As a max paid quarterback, it's your job. Aaron Rodgers was out there playing with a broken left wrist. Matt Stafford's played with a broken back. Dak Prescott's played all sorts of banged up. And Roethlisberger, every time I saw him play for the Steelers, he was limping around on a bad wheel or something, okay? It's your job. But he doesn't want to do that. Kyler Murray's a diva, guys. I'm not happy about this. I'm an observer. I'm an analyst. I'm not making this up. You see it on the sidelines, okay? Another 3-and-out by the Cardinals. And Kyler Murray walks to the sideline. He's cussing out Cliff Kingsbury, okay, who still hasn't recovered from the trauma of working with Kyler Murray. He's cussing out offensive linemen. He's cussing out wide receivers. He's always pointing the finger and blaming somebody else, okay? But it's like, bro, you threw your tight end a one hopper on 3rd and 8. What the hell was he supposed to do, Kyler? Okay? The fact that the poopy Cardinals just gave up on a former first-round pick and a very hyped player, okay, should tell you something. I want to go back to when Kyler was at Oklahoma. Remember, he was property of the A's at that point. He was going to play baseball. A former NFL quarterback that I was doing radio with, I told him it was midway through Kyler Murray's breakout Heisman season. And I said, I'm in love with this guy. Nobody can catch him. He's and by the way, he used to be the toughest tackle in the NFL, Kyler Murray. Until like I don't know what really happened, but he's not anymore. Okay. The guy's electric. Okay. I was a huge Kyler Murray fan, but I have a lot of guys where I was a fan and then they lose me. Okay. DeAndre Ayton, Draymond Green, the list goes on. Steve Kerr. I used to be a Steve Kerr guy. Now I'm not. Kyler Murray's damaged goods, guys. Kyler Murray's baggage outweighs his talent and production. And that's bad. Okay. He doesn't even run anymore. He doesn't even run anymore. I had him on all my fantasy football teams last year. Coming off the injury, he's going to be healthy. He's going to be running around. And he sucked. He didn't run at all. Okay. So I was like, that's his superpower. That's like Lamar Jackson not running anymore. It's like Mike Vick back in the day not running anymore. Cam Newton. What are you doing? That's what God blessed you with. You know, and come on, do what you're great at. He doesn't even do that anymore. I don't know why. Is he too cool for it? Is he afraid to get hurt when he leaves the pocket? All I know it's bad, and you ain't going to win that way. Some team is going to get Kyler Murray, and they're going to lie to themselves that they're going to fix him, that they're going to prove the Cardinals wrong. He's with us now. It's called program arrogance. Okay. Every basketball team, every football team, every freaking team has program arrogance. They think they're smarter than everybody else. Okay. Their fan base will be fired up, blah, 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 blah. We're back. We're back. Jets fans, we're back. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a Jets fan. You're never coming back. Okay. Then, okay. So Kyler gonna Kyler. And he's going to turn off his new fan base by midseason. And I have a prediction specifically aimed at my good friend A.M. Pfeffer. Y'all know where I'm going with this. There's already myriad reports linking the Jets and Kyler Murray. It's kind of sort of on and popping, okay? And the Jets, obviously, the Justin Fields thing, they gotta move on to the next thing. Love you, Justin, but you're a backup quarterback in the NFL. Sorry, it's where it is. You've had all these opportunities. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, the Jets, the Bears. It's never worked out, bro. Sorry. By the way, I was really wrong about Justin Fields. I cannot stand up and take a bow about that. Super high on him coming out of Ohio State. Hasn't worked out that way. Prediction, the Jets are going to sign Kyler Murray. AM, get ready for it. And AM and Jets Nation, Fireman Ed, waving the fire hat around, doing all that kind of stuff. All right, y'all are going to be complaining about Kyler Murray before Halloween, and that is my rant. And this is our show. We are out, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Rick.
But first,
hold on. You may think it's the Jets, but Kyler Murray is linked more to your ex-team, the Minnesota Vikings, than he is the New York Jets.
It would be a perfect marriage to have Kyler Murray go to the chokiest team in the history of sports. Okay? And can you imagine? He's going to be cussing out Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's going to be like, yo, I'm a gangster in Minnesota, bro. You can't do that to me. They love me here. By the way, it's funny you brought that up. I saw a report that the Vikings are flushing J.J. McCarthy. And for that, I will take a bow. Oh, yeah. I will take a bow on that. All four corners of the world. Thank you. Thank you to our great audience. They're throwing flowers at me right now like I'm Pavarotti over here, okay? I nailed that. What is happening here? Camera, you got to stay with. Yo, AI. You guys, AI is slipping, yo. Come on. I'm doing about it and you're losing me? What is wrong with you, camera? Give me a break. I'm losing my damn voice over here. But Dwight, you're right. I saw the Viking thing too. And you know what? It makes me super happy that I'm divorced and I'm NFL single. And all I do is worry about my fantasy teams. I can't be burdened with the heartbreak and the letdown. AM. Dude, call an attorney, draw up the paperwork, send him a retainer. Come on, dude. You don't have to be a Jets fan, dude.
This ain't Steph Curry. This is not the nod of Steph Curry. I'll forever be with the Jets. Ever.
I know. You Northeasterners are gonna die with your terrible teams. Every single one of you, Bills fans, Mets fans, just gonna die with your team. But hopefully a long time from now. Big thanks to Scoopy Robinson. I want to send a huge shout out to Jason Arambulo and Kai Josephson for their tremendous work. The Tibbs Shrek was just freaking amazing. Skits and bits like Inside the NBA. You guys rock. For Dr. X, for Dwight, who are all buddied up and cuzzed up there in Manhattan.
Yes,
for AM Pfeffer, for B. Dot, and our great guest, Scoopy Robinson, I'm Rick Kamla. We will see you again Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, potentially talking about Jason Tatum and maybe a return on Friday, but maybe not. Maybe. But we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching this edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Bye-bye.